great one.
All right, thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, let's see how this one plays out, ladies and gentlemen. Down in the lower bracket, Aurora versus Team Tidebound. And yeah, coming in with that last pick left, something we saw a lot from Laurenov back at the previous tournament in Dream League. He was having some pretty good success with it there as well. I can't remember the stats, but it looked good. Like, this is one of his comfort ones mid, and understandably so, right? When you're picking it into a game, into a matchup that may not be too favorable.
Yeah, we'll see how that one ends up going down. The other issue I have is, like, you can itemize really well versus Leshrac nowadays because everybody builds Corrosion, and you usually have one Mage Slayer carrier, or something along those lines. And Pipe is very popular. Sorry, not Pipe. Glimmer is very popular. Less popular than it was before, but we'll see if Laurenov's going to be able to make this one work. Again, they've gone for a pretty, like, tempo-heavy draft. It feels like on Aurora, well, Tidebound, more about the scaling, but they also have, so much team fight on the side of Tidebound. When you see the Centaur, the Wukongs, the Muerta, the Jakiro, feels like they have that edge, but Aurora, they have the Silencer. So if they can get those blink jump stuns with the DK, then the Silencer can follow up and they can potentially have those advantageous team fights. But we'll see if it ends up working for Aurora. They also go Frost Dragon.
I was going to say, I was going to talk about this, we're obviously seeing big variations in which facet you go for in different games. What is there anything about this game that does scream Frost Dragon?
I mean, the anti-heal versus them. Anti-heal versus Monkey King kind of in a way, but also maybe perhaps it's the Centaur lane that they're thinking about too, because Centaurs don't go boots.
Sure.
So the extra slow that it can provide, plus him with a Silencer, maybe something like that. But also I think people are just still experimenting more. You know, we saw a little bit of variety. We got the stats the other day was like, I think it was 4 games as Frost DK, a lot more on Corrosive, but more people are experimenting to try this one out. In the safe lane, I can understand it, right? For the extra chase down. Usually you have a lot of time to chase, but conceptually, most people want the Corrosive Dragon because it allows you to be that scale and carry a bit more.
Yeah, I guess this game maybe the argument against the Corrosive would be as well that you don't really want your spells to be physical right
versus
against
Terrorblade.
and Monkey King during his ult, right, with increased armor.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well too. So, okay. And yeah, I'm gonna be looking mostly at the mid lane because they wanted to have this Laurenov Leshrac to be able to have a good time versus the Monkey King. We'll see if that actually is gonna be the case.
Like, sometimes you are able to play this lane as the Lesh where, you know, you kind of get that pressure on, you hit the level 3, you have 2 points in the Edict, and
you
then
go for the kill.
You just dive them under the tower if you're able to keep the wave cleared and pushed in. So we'll see if Laurenov's able to sort of set up that opportunity to go for that first blood. He was very good at doing this before.
Okay.
I mean, sort of getting the lane in that position to go straight away as he hits the 3.
I just feel like it's very difficult even, I don't know. I feel like Monkey King can just do fine. Sure. He always can just have ways to just clear the wave or, you know. Boundless isn't the absolute best to clear waves in the early, but it still gets the job done. So it does feel like it'll have to be a bit of an outskill coming out from Laurenov somehow to beat. Nothing to say in that matchup. Top lane, super safe, super reliable coming out from Tidebound as well. A Jakiro plus that Terrorblade. I think we see TB picked versus Abaddon so often nowadays. This is very annoying. Even though you can remove that reflection, you have to use the shield to remove the reflection so you don't curse on top of yourself. And let's see if Mira's going to be able to do much up here versus these two as he's taking a ton of damage.
Oh, he's dead.
He actually dies. No TP.
Rough. That's rough. I was going to ask you anyway, because what's your sort of vibe on the Nature's Prophet in the position for, compared to obviously the core ones that we've seen?
Nowhere near as good, honestly. I think it still has its potential.
Can be good.
It's still strong, but this hero on core is insane.
Like
it's so broken, it seems like.
To the point where you don't imagine when teams are picking it, are they ever picking it with the main plan of it being the 4, or always just kind of gets moved to it?
I would imagine it wouldn't be considered as a support usually. It just ends up getting flexed and then you have to shift it. But I don't know, when I'm watching these Nature's Prophet jungling with like plus 70 damage because all the trees are around and then they're just Wrath of Naturing and the potential of the late game, you just win if you hit 25 in most situations. I don't know. We'll see. Mira dies though. We're seeing mid lane. It is going, and nothing to say favored. Planet will survive.
He might even be able to turn around.
Ooh, Planet actually turns back in.
Okay, well Planet dies, but you know, he wants to give the solo XP to Buck, because Buck will be able to clean up Panto on his own.
The Muerta versus Silencer, another one that we see quite often in those side lanes, just duking it out. The Silencer tends to win that 1v1. But yeah, Planet walks back in. I guess you're right. Like, he did want.
Yeah, he wants the reset.
Yeah,
he's happy
makes sense
with this off lane and getting the solo.
But he loses int.
True, he does give up a little bit of his brain. That's how much he wants to support Bark in this. Ready to sacrifice that.
Nowadays, I gotta be honest, losing the 1, you don't really feel it that much.
Sure.
Like when you used to lose the 2 every time, it was devastating. But yeah, 1. not something to write home about. So Mira now opting to, it looks like he was trying to jungle a little bit here, but Y is chasing him out. See how much they're going to be able to apply pressure now. I feel like Shiro's just going to, I mean, he already was free farm. I feel like it's an absolute free farm lane for the Terrorblade.
Yeah, mid, pretty much as expected, right? You're getting that little bit of an edge with the denies as the Monkey King against the Lesh.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this a lot.
Wasn't that opportunity for Lorinov to punish Nothing to Say at that timing where you have the potential for the level 2 Edict? At the moment, obviously just holding points because he's just not being able to put the lane in a state where he can get aggressive against the Monkey King.
This is a gigantic wave top. What is going on up here? Too much creep manipulation. Let's see if they can actually secure any of these last hits on the tower. It's a decent amount of damage on this tower too from the liquid fire and poke. I mean, it's another creep wave. This was like a 3.5 creep wave that they had up here. Fuck. Should be okay. Toronto, they're committing onto him.
A lot of damage here with the meta.
He should be okay.
A lot of damage on the tower.
Yeah. It's like when you force the, you make a move onto Toronto, he misses a couple of those extra last hits, but he's actually got a majority of them. I think he only missed, I believe he only missed 2 or 3. I was trying to count under the tower there. He's 20 and 9, so he actually did a very good job of securing those. And yeah, I'm curious to see what build Nothing to Say is going to go. Is he going to go more aggressive, or is he going to go down Mage Slayer build? Is he going to just play to reduce the Leshrac? Could be something he wants to do since he's off to a hot start in that mid.
Good heavy pressure there early on from Tidebound onto that top lane. The next Metamorphosis, they're probably able to try and finish that top tier 1 off.
These denies. Got 13 on Nothing to Say. Rotation coming in too. Planet is in the area. Believe that ward does not see him there too, so it will expire. Power Rune, 10 seconds. Mira starting to shift toward top. Planet's gonna be there for the bottom rune. They're bringing the 2 supports. The usual 6-man mid, Nothing to Say, prepping the Wukong.
He's gonna get, I mean, Mira's gonna try for the TP out, and will make it away, but now Lorinov is left on his own. They just turn to the ledge, kill him instead, they get the bigger kill.
Panto is gonna try to poke him, but he does not do too much versus them. He might even get turned on. There's another Boundless in 2 seconds, Nothing to Say considering it, but opts against it. Solid first move. Their 2 supports just feel a lot stronger for those rotations. It feels like the 2 strongest range supports we were talking about.
I mean, I'm pretty sure on the win rates as well. Actually, I'll have a look, actually, because I've got it in front of me.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Jakiro just feels like he's always strong. Muerto also feels like it's insane, especially as the game progresses. So fighting around that power rune there early on, they get the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Muerto, what, 28 games, 57% win rate, and Jakiro, 52 games, 53% win rate. So yeah, 2 solid. I guess can't really see for the others because obviously we're getting a lot of core games from Nature's Prophet, so the stats are a little skewed.
Curse hits onto 2, heavy rotation from
Aurora. Mira's going down for sure. They're going to try and fight here around the Shrine of Wisdom.
Nothing to Say is trying to fight this.
I mean, they're bringing Shiro over. Okay, they're going to back up. Nothing to Say. He TPs out at just the right moment. Will manage to get out of there.
Heavy rotation. They even brought Nightfall. They brought majority of the squad to secure and prevent that takeaway from the Shrine. Somehow only get the 1 kill. It's actually pretty crazy that they were both able to just disengage.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, it's very close to not getting out there on the Monkey King, but TP'd at just the right moment. Nothing to Say. It was close.
Toronto Tokyo, it's to level 5. Doesn't, I mean, they might potentially set up for him. They have a meta, they have Ice Path. Stampede is online. So where do they want to look to go with it if they want to make that aggressive move?
Yeah, interesting enough, just having a look at sort of the vibe check of Nature's Prophet right now in the top tier pubs. It is like a 54% carry win rate, 48% position 4 win rate.
Makes sense, yeah.
Big difference. Big difference.
You can itemize in a cool way, right? You can get...
Because what are you buying?
You can go... Usually it's like the earn, right? Earn into then you decide afterwards what your team needs. Perhaps some like Solar or Force Staff or whatever it could be, but... Yeah, it just feels... Yeah, much weaker than that carry role, or that mid role that we've seen popularized more and more throughout this tournament.
Yeah, just in a patch, right, where there are so many 4s that can become very, very obnoxious very easily.
I mean, yes, he provides good damage at 6 with Wrath of Nature, right? But
you hit the 6 late, right?
You hit the 6 late, and so many of these other supports, they provide insane team fight. It's not just damage, it's control plus damage. Like, Jakiro gives you all three. Slow, control, and that damage that comes in from Macro, Ice Path, and Dual Breath. But yeah, the map is huge, so it can also be valuable to have this other hero that can scale, but so far, Mira at the bottom of the net worth at the moment.
As you mentioned before, right, if it does fall to the late stages where you are getting the chance to scale up, that's not going to be a part of the game that Tidebound is afraid of.
No, Tidebound,
they're happy to scale.
Yeah, they're super happy with this game going slow. Bach, forced to stampede. He actually gets sprouted, but they don't have a follow-up for him. Rotation's coming. A banana peel, it's on its way.
Let's see what he's able to do. Sliding into the bottom lane. And he's ready to go. Wukong's command down. They'll look for the easy kill first. Take Panto.
Nightfall. Dragon form still has some time. Keeping some more heroes, but not going to be able to fight into it. And we do see the Mage Slayer. It's queued up for nothing to say. Since he's playing versus that Lash, absolutely makes sense.
Super big.
Yep.
Just get on top of Lorinoff.
Yep, even versus the Abaddon, honestly, it's pretty valuable versus the two of them because most of these Abaddons will Radiance, so you're preventing a lot of the damage that comes up from them in the later stages as well. 1k lead at the moment for Tidebound. Lorinoff looking to get a power rune. He will get it, but they're setting up on him. They still got Jingu stacks, but won't dive into the Misanthropy.
Yeah, has the backup here with Panto behind him as well.
Blade Mail finished up for Bach. He's pretty threatening now at this point. 1800 HP. Plus that Blade Mail. Difficult to bring down. He can just kind of keep himself parked down here to get that XP Oasis. We'll get the tower deny. A rotation's coming in. They don't have global just yet. But this amp damage plus this Diabolic Edict will kill almost any target it gets on. However, he might die to the Blade Mail if it ends up being a Centaur. So Lorna does have to be careful.
Yeah, gotta be pretty wary around Bach.
Yeah, that's why I like this Blade Mail build a lot. It's one of the best versus Leshrac in a lot of situations. Planet.
I should get him pretty easily. Look at the wraparound. It's not ready for the rotation there from Lorinoff. We've still got the numbers here, Tidebound.
Lorinoff.
They're looking at him.
He is sticking around, and they've got Stampede.
They'll get Panto.
Settle for Panto. I think maybe they didn't see Lorinoff for a quick... They had the Watcher, actually. But I guess they didn't want to commit. Okay. I thought they would Stampede and full commit onto him, but opting for the easier kill.
All this time is giving both space top. Toronto, Tokyo getting a bit of breathing room, but same to be said here for Shiro on the Terror Blade.
Nightfall having a clear separation though at the moment. 900 ahead of his counterpart, and he's got the Maelstrom, so he's got the farming item too.
It's gonna be fast.
Yeah.
And obviously has it queued up. I think he's definitely gonna be tempted to try and just get the full Mjolnir first before he goes for anything else, because he's getting away with this, right?
Yep.
He's gonna have the space. He's gonna have the time. So we should see him stay up there.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. I will say though, he's going. It is another magic damage item, and there is going to be a Mage Slayer, right? So it can reduce some of the damage from that Maelstrom.
Trying with the setup of the dead shot, and not able to get the connection there, Planet.
A rare miss that we see from these Muertas. I feel like we've been seeing them all land beautiful dead shots lately.
Well, they'll get on with the tower push bottom Tidebound.
They're bringing Shiro. They want to ensure that they get this tower finished off. Mira about to hit 6. That Wrath of Nature is going to be online. Let's see if they do the tech, we can call it, right? Either wards around high grounds or couriers to scout neutral so you get the extra bounces. We shall see. I believe I've only seen Liquid and Falcons really abuse that the most.
Timings for the mids, though, still continue to have that bit of a gap. Nothing to say.
And it's going to be so big, right? That next 250 gold he gets, it's going to be incredibly impactful when he has it. We have seen some of these Monkey Kings falter after the laning phase. So far, nothing to say. He's 3-0-1. He's having a very solid time at this point.
And it's just a pretty nice game to be the Monkey King. Right?
It does look
Jumping in on these targets. You got a few squishies you can look towards, and not a huge amount of control that they can throw back at you.
Yeah, and I do like this. I mean, you now pretty much do it in most of the games because the other one got kind of butchered. The Wukong's Faithful is pretty cool. Even if he does die, we'll be able to stay down, or if he wants to exit and come back.
But tough to kill him now. Mage Slayer online.
Mage Slayer is done. Toronto Tokyo is having pretty solid free farm as well. No pressure onto the Sabat. Everybody's kind of just farming it up right now. See where the next pressure play is going to come out. Is it just going to be that Tidebound waits for the blink on Bach before they make a big aggressive move, or are they going to look to actually use this Mage Slayer now at this point? Because he did get very lucky, right? He's got his Mage Slayer, he's got his corrosion, and he of course got the Orb of Destruction. So he got the, the triple. Looks like it's Aurora making the first move around the Atos of Lornoff. They want to get a catch. Perhaps opening up the map too if they can get a tower kill, because top tower is actually very healthy still. Let's see, do they look to set up a defense? They're pinging the fact that Nothing to Say is still in the mid lane. Because if anyone is going to go to defend, it's going to either be him or Bach toward top. Looks like they're going to start hitting this tower here. Let's see, does Tidebound want to fight it? It's looking like no, but Planet is still sticking in the area, so maybe. Okay, looks like they want to use the Twin Gate and save their TPs for something else.
Okay, a Bach's coming through. Tower's already gone, and Aurora's already starting to leave the area, so won't really be able to make any move happen with that.
They threw the scan, right? They threw the scan, I believe, on the bottom side, so they knew that they were using that Twin Gate. So immediately after getting the tower, they disengage. So Tidebound a bit late for the defense, and even on mid now, too. So 2 towers claimed from the side of Aurora.
Yeah, good pressure.
Very quickly.
Good money for Toronto Tokyo to speed up getting that Radiance done. Of course, this does mean the space is there for Tidebound. Playing the Tormentor.
As that's the trade, right? Give up a tower or 2 for that. They will get Y with it. And the Vessel's nearly done for Mira. He is going to go down the full Vessel route since he's playing versus the Monkey King. Good versus the tanky Centaur also. There's the Blink. So Blink done for Bach. Tidebound. Feels like they can start to play a bit more aggressive. Nightfall already has the Mjolnir finished. Let's see if they want to look to take a fight head on here. They'll find a ward. There we go. Playing it to global always does feel, a little bit scary at times to make an aggressive move. This one could get very farmio, and it already is starting to get to that 16 minutes. It's 3-6. Both teams just looking for objectives.
I mean, do you think Tidebound is right to sort of be like, hey, we're fine hitting creeps and scaling? Like, their scaling is just better.
Very good. Yeah, I would say that they scale a bit better, but
because you just see what in the late game, them having a much easier time killing this DK than Aurora's a team will have killing the
Terrorblade. Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
It's just the supporting cast too, right? They just have a lot of control, and what we've seen lately, this is the way that most teams are winning, right? Heavy team fight with a strong, super strong carry, and TB seems to be, at the moment, the strongest besides PA. Why? Sure enough, we'll find the catch.
Stampede, and it's going to get him out of that.
And now they're closing the gap. It's a haste rune on Lornoff, so he should be able to disengage, but Panto might not be so lucky.
We'll see who gets left behind. Indeed. Rest in peace, Silencer.
Bach will claim that one. Saving Y with the Stampede.
I thought they could take this tower and... I mean, could they consider Roshan soon Tidebound, or is that risky?
They actually could consider it. They do have meta available.
And maybe they want to get the tier 1 tower mid.
Longer. Yeah, you need to wait a little bit more.
Might want to get the mid tower first.
They don't kill it at the fastest either, right? Like
no.
They kind of just... Yeah, we'll have to full
Takes
commit
time.
for it. They'll be safe because the Jakiro slows, but... Aurora looking to split up the map, perhaps wait for another timing themselves. We're seeing Mira, TP bottom, start getting this push. Immediately Shiro is there. Alright, they're gonna smoke.
Yeah, they got the blink on Nightfall.
Got the blink. They need it, right? We were talking about how the lack of catch overall is there. Bach.
Or do they want to jump him?
He's got the blade mail, so it's maybe not too tempting unless he's completely alone.
They're gonna try. They're in on towards and they put the global,
blade
and
mail.
they've got enough to kill him out through the blade mail. They're able to take him out quickly.
Take a fair bit of damage, but they will get this nice clean kill. Can they turn it into more?
I mean, they're still watching around the top rune.
I mean, Tidebound is still looking to be in this area, but there is a ward behind them that is scouting. He just cut his tree. Okay, whoopsie. And it's a shield rune. Potentially looking for the go themselves.
Who cut his tree with the dead shot?
Yeah, he literally shot his tree.
I mean, that's got to be intentional memeing. Like, you don't accidentally cut someone's tree with dead shot.
I saw it. I was like,
just clicks his tree. Just testing. And now he's done that. He's like, okay, I will definitely not do that in a team fight.
But Tidebound, they lose their They lose the Centaur there, and they can't even punish the fact that DK form was used and Global was used. So for Aurora, a good hit.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Yeah, they get a good kill.
Yep. No way to counter engage.
I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I mean, it's going to be the farm game.
It's going to be a close one.
I feel like the track record for Aurora has very much been the farm game has been good when Nightfall's on the PA. When it's not been the PA, it's not been as good.
True. Mira, looking pretty dead. Nothing to say. We'll claim that one.
So can Nightfall win the farm game with the DK?
That is the question. And overall throughout history, I know Jenkins is pricing the back. Times have changed. TB versus DK has always been a favorable TB matchup. Even though it used to be about the reflection in general.
Sure.
Not the case as much anymore. It still has always been a good matchup for him, so we'll see how that ends up turning out. Because Nightfall is very farm still.
He is, no, absolutely. You know, up there on the top stand level without Shiro's Terrorblade. It's good numbers so far. Just a question of what he's going to be able to do with it down the line.
Yeah. They're buying items to amplify him too. Solar Crest is finished up from Panto. Why is Panto pump faking Global?
Wait, was he?
He just did it twice.
Gotta be careful with that one. Don't want to accidentally Global.
I was like looking, I'm like, no one's gonna go on.
Maybe he thought someone was gonna get like jumped from the trees by the Monkey King or something.
Yeah, perhaps. Nightfall. A little bit left on his dragon form. Toronto, Tokyo, he's also quite farmed.
He's super farmed.
1-0. He has yet to die. Bach dodges. That one actually was... It felt like he blinked late, but it actually was an ideal timing to dodge that stun. Dragon form ending. See if they want to look to fight. Nothing to say. He's going a bit of a greedier route. He's going the Manta rather than going down to BKB early on. So wanting to just have the Dispel and then perhaps later going for BKB. Tidebound. Ooh, they smoked directly under that ward.
I mean, do Aurora just hype for this, or do they try and set up and see if they can fight?
I mean, they might not even... I don't know if they expected it coming, actually, somehow. Lornoff.
He said it was under the ward.
It was under the ward.
Okay. Well, Lornoff didn't get the memo.
It was under the... I mean, they even revealed themselves afterwards killing it. I guess he didn't get the memo.
Okay. I mean, because that wasn't even far from where they smoked, right?
No.
That was... didn't get the memo, mate.
Mid lane.
Oh.
Whoa. They might commit forward for this kill still.
He's tempted.
What?
Can he get him?
Force staff.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, the lightning proc too, just in case.
Now, that's a rough one though for Lornoff. Can't be dying like that.
No, Nightfall gets a solo kill though. It's a big deal. Any of these, even on a support, it matters. Up to level 16. Gonna look for another catch. They have the global. He still has a bit of this dragon form.
Oh, this time it was them doing it under Tidebound's vision.
Yes. So let's see if Tidebound gets the memo. It looks like they do.
They do. They're holding hands behind this tier 2. They're ready for anything that Aurora try with the smoke.
Aurora has to have a clean jump with the global.
Radiant are scanning.
Let's see if they can find that clean jump as well. Because if they have to overcommit into Wukongs, it can be scary. Dragon form does wear off. See where they want to look to strike. It looks like it's going to be bottom. Bach does have backup, and now he's got a full pipe. So quite a bit tankier, and he's got Y behind him. Looks like they're going to go for the jump anyway.
They're going to try.
There's a Jakiro here, and the Ice Path gets casted before Global.
Global comes out, Mirror TP's in, gets the sprout down onto the Jakiro, but Bach's able to stop, turn, gets the Who Stop off onto the 3 turn.
A lot of damage.
Magnifier burning through Mirror. Mirror will fall. Lornoff diving around underneath the tower, but can he actually get out of this? He's on the run. He will
50.
live. But
He lives?
Toronto, Tokyo, Sport time comes to an end.
Lornoff.
I mean, they're getting away with it. They get in, they get the 2 kills. They only lose to support Nature's Prophet. They'll take that.
That haste rune saving his life, 50 HP. They were prepared, too, on the side of Tidebound. They got the Ice Path off pre-Global, but not able to get the chase kills. They only find Mira.
Yeah, it looked like a risky dive, but it
really
pays off.
Because look, I mean, they took so much damage from this Blade Mail and Macro Pyre, but ends up not mattering too much. Great disengage.
Not bad at all.
Nope. Keeping this one very even here.
Shiro is getting the Hurricane Pike next.
Honestly, is it
for the same?
Was it like a Gossamer Cape dodge or something that ended up saving Laurinov? Because he was literally 50 HP, right? So maybe some extra life stealer. Yeah, small little things, of course, protecting him.
Yeah. I mean, the right click that was chasing the Emerald was just out of the Jakiros.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
it was
low.
a weak one. That's for sure. Global is down. They're making the move.
Then Tundra Tokyo, his borrowed time still on cooldown for 10 seconds, but it doesn't matter. He's able to step back. In fact, he's ready to get aggressive. Turns back over towards Bark. They couldn't burst the Abandon. They couldn't get even close to bursting him. Went a bit too aggressive there. They got too excited that the borrowed time was on cooldown. They tried to go for him. It's not even close.
They try to commit because there's no global. And
as well, yeah.
Time. And yet they can't force anything there. And now a Roche, much easier for Aurora to take. Now they're starting to get that ball rolling for their lineup that wants to have that advantage early. Okay, Toronto Tokyo is a problem.
All right, here we go. Aegis, who's taking this one?
Probably Laurinov.
Yeah, get it on the lash.
DK shouldn't in theory need it for now, but Laurinov of course wants to be able to have as much capabilities on this lash as possible. Arcane Rune on him. His timings are pretty good. Mira top. Looks like they are trying to set up for him, but he is aware. Yeah, he's just going to go Vessel for stuff. Makes sense when you're playing versus the Wukongs. Nothing to say. Panto. Can't get the catch. Atos doesn't stop it. Tormenta will be coming back up soon. Panto already prepared for it. He's pinging it for the team. Tidebound, are they going to look to react to that or pressure somewhere else in the meantime? It looks like pressure somewhere else. They are starting to ping it though. So let's see what they want to do. Ball is going to be to hit the top tower. Toronto Tokyo is coming up to defend. An absurd amount of damage onto him from Shiro.
Can they still go for this any deeper? Doesn't look like it.
They can get this tier 2 likely though.
But we'll get the tower, yeah.
It's a nice Wrath of Nature to stop some of that push, but either way, Shiro able to full commit.
And they can try to push together themselves down on the bottom lane, Aurora, as Nightfall starts to approach the tier 2 here. Looking for the trade. TP coming in, and for fortification.
Well, 18 on Nightfall. It's very strong at the moment. They've got global at the ready as well with this Aegis with the lash. Looks like it's just a macro pirate to try to stop the push, but this tower looks like it's going to go down.
It's a close game.
It is.
It is a close game. I think both teams probably equally as confident in their own position right now.
I would agree. I just think that Aurora, they do have some better scaling that's going on at the moment because of the 3 being able to get the farm with how farm Toronto Tokyo is, and Bach is starting to fall behind, but yeah, you can imagine that both teams starting to feel pretty comfy. Shiro versus Mira.
Yeah, they're going to pop the Stampede to try and secure this, but back comes in. Nightfall gets the jump straight away over towards TB.
Still silenced.
Can he get his Thunder off? He can. So Shiro should be fine for now. Laurinov tries to chase, but gets sent back here by the fear of the dead shot from Planet. On towards the silence, and they've caught Panto. Panto will go down. Laurinov is it? Oh no, he's going to get saved. Panto survives. Laurinov does fall the once. There's the Aegis gone. Can they set up for a second time? No, I don't know if they can, because Panto and the team, they're still strong. Aurora push forward. Tidebound have to back away. Laurinov chasing them down. Jump forward for Nightfall. In with the Dragon Tail stun onto Planet. They'll get themselves both support kills. Not losing anything other than the Aegis themselves, Aurora.
Panto surviving somehow during it.
He was so close to death.
Just good. I mean, there's a decent amount of sustain that's coming out in this draft, as you see between that Bloodstone and just a little heals that come out from the Abandon. Toronto Tokyo actually changed it up a little here. A lot of games we see them put 0 points in Miscoil. He's actually using Miscoil to save allies too, so something we haven't seen too much. I swear I see so many of them just skip it. At bottom, Shiro.
Catch on a Shiro. He'll get the Sunder off.
He's alone.
He is surely very dead. Yeah, they can't save him.
Uh-oh.
That's a rough one. Dead for a minute.
That's a big mistake.
Yeah, he didn't need to be there.
Gets caught as the momentum is starting to shift. I mean, Aurora is starting to get heavy momentum on their side with these last few moves. They'll even take away the Shrine of Wisdom. Perhaps that's what Shiro was trying to set up for, to take that, but does get caught. I'm seeing the itemization. They're both queuing up the Eye of Scotty. It's one of the most valuable items to play versus Lash, and honestly, the DK and the event is pretty good, but definitely not wanting 2 on the TB and the Monkey King. Aurora able to still posture aggressive too. Bach.
They're going to make the dive mid. With the blade mail off. Tokyo ready to keep pushing forwards. Has to borrow time to rely on if it's in trouble. They use the Stampede, but the stun comes out. Bach. He's trying to run.
He's still looking, might die.
Indeed, he's going down.
Another one.
Aurora coming in with some great hits now against Tidebound. Tidebound losing big heroes and losing that gold. That's 5K, 6K advantage now for Aurora.
I really like how I like how Toronto has itemized this game too. This Blink Dagger. It's like he's now got an initiating force versus Bach, forcing that Stampede early planet. Should be fine. Super good aggressive plays from Aurora. And they have deep aggressive vision still during all this meantime. Ags is finished up for Muerta. But now we see Nightfall has the next big item already finished up too. He's got Revenant's Brooch versus that TB.
Yeah, he hits hard.
He hits really hard.
He's having a very clean game so far, 3-0-7.
It's the ideal
Perfect so far.
itemization. Yeah, versus the TB. Just so much damage that pierces through him. Even though they've got that Mage Slayer that can prevent some extra damage. So far, we're seeing Aurora just being able to kind of run through the team fights. The Stampede gets popped, and they just run right through and continue fighting. It's shown that they're this much stronger at this moment here. Now BKB also for Lorinov, so an extra defensive capability. The fact that Lorinov has been able to kind of just, yes, he dies versus the Wukong. The fact that he can still charge through versus Wukongs and Terrorblade says a lot about the state of the game. Because in the past, TB has also been one of those good answers versus Flash, because he has to run in on top of him. So you can hit him as he's running in, but Lorinov, with his supporting cast, has been doing a great job. And now they're going again. They've got Global at the ready.
And they're strong. They've got an amplified damage rune as well here on Lorinov. This next fight could be a painful one, especially if they're able to sort of chain stun Shiro.
Yeah, I think they see him. I think they know which one's the real one there. He's going to back away.
No, they've been a bit more careful this time, Tidebound. They know that they cannot allow Shiro to get jumped.
Base ward's placed. Nightfall wants to jump, but they see it. Bach.
They go for the base jump. Might be a bit too much for them right now.
They do notice that they're both going for that same item, so we do see the pivot there from Nothing to Say. He's going to go the Revenants, since Shiro is going down that Scotty route. Yeah, it looks like Aurora doesn't want to jump fully into the base versus Wukong Ice Path. They can settle for controlling the map. Mira, I believe his Lotus Orb is done, so rather than going for the Force Staff, this game feels like this is more valuable.
Well, they're going to smoke up themselves, Tidebound, see if they can get some action going. It's been a pretty painful last few minutes as they've fallen further and further behind that of Aurora's progression.
They haven't been able to make the first jump at all. It's been them reacting to every single one of the Aurora moves, so maybe this is why they want to try to do this, is get a move that's actually dictated by them. And they have timing, so Scotty's done. And I believe we did see that Revenant's Brooch for the Monkey King. And an Aghanims for Planet, something we can never forget about. This item is insane on the Muertas, but let's see if it's going to actually work in the next fight. An 8K lead now for Aurora.
Yeah, Tidebound need this fight to go well.
Yep. And not easy. The 3 frontliners are very tanky now at this point. I'm calling Lesh a frontliner just because of the itemization he's been able to get. Hanto.
Hanto, it's not anything crazy. Just the silencer.
It is a Stampede use, though. So 90 seconds.
It's a lot for just that.
And Toronto Tokyo goes down a defensive route, goes for the BKB as well. Very strong this game, so he can stick on those targets. He wanted the Basher, but he changed.
Tidebound just wasn't as good for as what they would have hoped for there with that move. Not getting anything else.
No, and they're spending a lot of time running around together, too. They're trying to make sure that Shiro doesn't get picked off, which is causing this net worth disparity as well, too, from Aurora. Seeing Mira, I mean, he's queued up a lot of different items this game, but could be interesting if he goes down this route. The disarm is nothing to laugh at.
A tide to the impurity.
When they're, entangled, it does, not allow them to attack, so. Nightfall, he's continuing to be very big. Shiro is still matching his farm. But now this next item, he's going for the butterfly that we've seen a couple games. Be very clutch. Mira, very alone, but tanky.
He's just able to walk out the Wukongs.
Nothing to say. He'll get himself out. But a Wukong's used. Not gonna get the kill. 2 big ultimates used. Stampede will be coming back up. But an instant smoke purchased from Panto. So it looks like he wants to group up and fight now that there's no Wukongs. Mid lane.
Oh, it's got the borrowed time. So again, just not able to get these big kills that they've been starting to desperately look for. They're going to continue here as we have the smoke up.
Okay, so borrow time on cooldown. No Wukongs available on their side, though.
And the global is up.
So gets the jump. Nightfall.
He's already out playing turns. They're going to stampede off.
Stun on 2.
With a dead shot. Now they move forward, but again, the forces getting Nightfall back out of the harm's way.
Lord is tanky.
Now we can try and turn. BKB and Bloodstone pop. They use the global.
Shiro is sticking on him.
I mean, can they jump any further here? Tidebound, they can't. So both teams, Tidebound don't manage to get anything. They get a few responses out in terms of the BKBs, the globals, but not actually able to get any kills.
An exchange of cooldowns, though, and they are around the Roche, and now they do kill it fast.
But Aurora's going to want to head over here.
No global. Borrow time's up in 20. No BKB for Lornoff.
Sure, yeah, they're surely going to want to try and contest this. Are they just going to let it go?
Wukong's is back up, so it's a bit scary to run into this.
I mean, they're thinking about it. They're hovering around outside of the pit. But they've got to make a move soon if they want to try and stop this.
Nothing to say.
He's in, throwing to Tokyo. He's going to try and start this off, get there in the midst of it all, but all he did is, he did it 1 second too soon. They're still in there, Aegis on the ground, Lornoff's able to get the pickup on it. So now with this, Lornoff might be able to fight back. They look towards Nothing to Say. They kill him off through the Wukongs. Lornoff does go down, but he's going to be back for round 2. Bart tries to jump in onto Nightfall, but Nightfall gets away with the glimmer. Lornoff. He's wondering if he can still stand his ground against these guys.
Doesn't look like it.
He can't. He's dead. And he didn't do the mass fog. Toronto Tokyo went in 1 second. And his borrowed time would have been there. He literally went in 1 second too soon.
I think he thought he was tankier than he was, but he died so fast to the damage that they have there. Jumping into literally everybody. So there was some interesting stuff that happened in this one too, because I believe Y force-staffed Shiro out of the pit to get him away from the Lash, which allowed the Lash to pick up the Aegis, but it ends up being pretty okay. So let's see it again.
Look at this on the left of your screen, the borrowed time, 3, 2, 1, dead. I mean, it looked like maybe there was going to be, because they get the Aegis right. Lornoff's able to get the pickup.
Wait, dude, it was Roche, because the timer switched to nighttime. It grabbed him and threw him out of the pit.
Well, Roche finished him before his borrowed time.
Shiro. No, Roche grabbed Shiro and tossed him out.
So we couldn't get the Aegis.
Thank you for that again, to see the replay. I was wondering how he got thrown out. I was like, wait, was that a force staff or what was it? But okay, Roche. Oh man. Oh man, I love Roshan right now. It always looks so funny when he gets that grab. 6K lead, but Aurora.
Yeah. Still have that advantage, but
yeah,
a little less than before.
Absolutely.
You know, Tidebound keeping Shiro at the top.
And seeing that these items are definitely starting to play a bit of a factor. They have the Shivas now finished. They have the Eye of Scotty. So they have, everybody just has heal prevention in a way, right? So they can stop a lot of that either comes out from the ABBA or the Lash or some of what the DK gets out of his regen.
Okay, this is going to be the next big time as well, right, for Tidebound. When Shiro has this BKB,
that's the big one.
Can they kill the Terrorblade? The Terrorblade is going to be quite terrifying in the team fights.
It is, but they still have this. The gold lead is there, and we did see Mira on the meanwhile. You know, I didn't point it out, but he was just split pushing during that entire fight. So he did get a range Rax. Wasn't a melee, but still some pressure that's going to be coming out toward top. It's a cool game so far.
Makes you just wonder, sort of, you know, what do you think the vibe from Tidebound is now? Do you think they feel the pressure a bit, or they still feeling like Shiro's got this?
Probably feeling a little bit of the pressure, yeah. But I think Shiro he's probably not confident. You're telling them, guys, don't worry.
He's got his BKB now.
It's interesting because both of them have that transformation carry as well too, right? So the team fights have to be during that 40, 50 seconds or something.
What's the duration of meta compared to Dragon Form?
About the same. It's 50 to 60, right? DK form is 60, and I think meta is 50 at max.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so similar durations with both of these spells.
Oh, Banner got left, by the way.
Oh, that's still in there?
It's still in there.
Oh, well, there you go.
Definitely can be pretty important. Orchid now finished up for Toronto, Tokyo.
Looking at the bottom lane.
And that's an interesting pickup.
They're trying to start things on Shira.
Stun off the mark.
Toronto Tokyo, they get a good dead shot fear, pushing back both of them. Found the strike down on the walls to drag. They don't want to dive the tier 2 quite yet though, Tidebound.
That is DK form used. Still gonna have it up for some time. They're gonna smoke. They kind of showed this though. But either way, they're gonna look for a wraparound probably because that DK form was used and fight around it. There's a butterfly on Nightfall, so he is difficult to bring down and focus if he's not isolated.
Well, where are they heading with the smoke? It doesn't look like they want to try and go for that hit again down bottom.
Probably just look for any type of any fight that they can around DK form when it goes down. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to find this catch though. Maybe they were looking for Mira because this split push is starting to get pretty pesky. Mira is starting to get some extra scaling as well, even though he hasn't gone a scaling build. The levels are coming in for him. He's level 18 now. Doesn't look like they'll find anything though.
And Jess, so what do you imagine the reason is for Toronto Tokyo wanting to go this Orchid into Bloodthorn route rather than the Basher Abyssal that he had queued earlier?
I was trying to think of it as well too. Maybe wants extra mana as well too on top of everything, right? And maybe a potential eventual butterfly, right? But I don't know if Shiro's even gonna go down that route this game. He probably just needs to go MKB since he saw the butterfly in the DK, so not sure. We'll see. See if that one pays off. Ward on the high ground here. They did see Planet. Everything is at the ready for Aurora, but also for the side of Tidebound.
Toronto Tokyo's in. The glimmer's there. Can't make anything happen with the jump. Jump forward. That knife was going to jump pretty deep. He's able to get over towards the Jakiro. Double force and a glimmer.
He's alive.
Twice safe. They get him away from the dragon. But the Stampede as well. Dead shot again, giving them some space here for Bark to retreat. I mean, if they could back off of them, and this was what the dragon form and the global silence used.
They're going to keep chasing. They have meta up right now. Tidebound wants to look for some extra kills here now that that was expended. Lornoff in the trees.
Oh, nearly gets found by Bark.
Quick blink from Lornoff. Looking to play around their ward here, Toronto.
Hard to hold on this tier 2 without the global silence.
He's got a shield rune.
They want to try their Nightfalls in with a jump. They're going to try and burst through Shira, but Shira's able to get the BKB off, and now he's ready to turn. Looks towards Nightfall. Nightfall has to step away. Lornoff gets it onto the back lines. Catches the support and Bark as Lornoff's able to clean them up. Now they can turn towards Shira as his BKB comes to an end. Ice Path will hold back Toronto Tokyo for now, but Nightfall in with the blink catches Shira. Doesn't say will lay down the Wukong's command, but it's just down to him and Y, and they have to keep running. They can't take on Aurora now, as Aurora is still fighting with the full 5-man after Mira brought back. Why? He'll get out to the south. See if they want to continue to chase him. Mira's in with a TP. Will find him. As they'll get him with that. Jump forward from Toronto Tokyo. They get the kill. So they get the 4 of them.
Where did Nothing to Say go during that fight? I think he was bottom, perhaps?
Sure, it took him a bit of time to join.
Because, yeah, he was not near his team when they got initially jumped there. It was a perfect catch from Lornoff onto the back line, but Nothing to Say wasn't there.
And this is rough now because Dragonform's back up. There's no Terrorblade for 50 seconds. We'll see how much they have to let go here, or if they're going to have to contemplate using buybacks.
They don't have meta for 30 seconds, so Shiro does not want to buy back.
That's true. They might just have to let the damage be done here.
I think they have to sack this Rex. He actually is going to buy back. Okay.
Surprising.
He doesn't have the meta, but feels like he doesn't want to lose this tower here.
Sure. Let's see if the buyback's enough, because they're going to know as well that he doesn't have the meta, so we'll see how scared Aurora are of this buyback.
I guess because the top lane was also pushing it, he doesn't want to lose 2 sets.
Okay.
So, okay.
It works. They back off. They'll just get the tier 3, so the racks will stay up.
I really thought
still good progress there from Aurora, taking that fight. After Tidebound, I guess they just really wanted to try and force it whilst the global was down, but Aurora going to show that they don't need the global right now to win a team fight.
If we have a moment, can we actually just quickly... we don't need to see the whole replay of that last bit, but I just want to see if not where Nothing to Say was at the start of it.
Well, on the minimap, yeah, we should be able to check that, yeah.
If we could get a quick little glance at it a moment here, but...
There you go. So indeed, he's
look where he is.
He's on the bottom way.
He is nowhere near.
That's risky.
He's drawing the line for his team, and they're just getting gone on.
Oh.
So, yeah, big mess up
Well,
there from the
yeah.
side of Tidebound. Because they were making the call, let's push, let's fight.
I mean, if he was here, he would have a chance to, even with his kind of, Bark and the supports dying, like, if he's here to fight with Shiro...
right here, if there's a Wukong and a stun, potentially could stop and allow his stun. Yeah. So a big blunder there from Tidebound, but a great position that Aurora, they notice and they take advantage of it.
Yeah, because he was jumping the creep wave, right? So
yeah,
they had the full information that there's no Monkey King here.
Okay. It's a huge swing now, right?
Yep.
It's up to 15K. Now they've got a big chunk of extra items going in their way. Still see Tidebound, smoked up, looking for the fight. I believe a full MKB now done. 4-0 to say.
They've got to have him involved in the fight,
Yeah, they need to have all 5 together. Panto.
Bark.
He was thinking about jumping, but then when the outpost starts getting taken that fast, he's not alone.
And who'd you imagine in these fights, nothing to say, wants to be jumping on and just causing issues for? Like, who'd you lay down the Wukongs and Boundless upon? He just getting on the Lesh, or?
Honestly, I think he just wants to cover his TV. I don't think it's on a specific hero itself. It's just a blanket coverage at Shiro. If they can catch Silencer first, absolutely. But it's not been the case. Panto's actually had pretty good positioning in most of these times.
Nightfall continue to have a perfect game, 5-0-9. He's been playing very strong today on his EK.
Yeah, I like his itemization too. No boots on him now. But that's okay. Toronto,
Tokyo.
They forced to borrow time.
Still has the BKB after this. He's able to get the blink off during the borrowed time.
His borrowed time on cooldown, 60 seconds. Roche, very soon to respawn. Tidebound all position in the area. They'll find the wards.
This was the meta.
They've got to shift. They've got to shift toward top. Roche is going to be up there now soon.
They do Roche very quickly.
Insanely fast.
So,
I mean, both sides at this point now kill it so quick. Borrow time might come back up though, 35 seconds.
He'll be making extra careful when it comes to the borrowed time now. He's not going to be jumping in with 1 second left.
Roche is up.
No more risks.
It spawns.
So check it out. Not yet going towards the pit.
Vlad's picked up even. So Amira has opted away from that Ags, just wanting to have more of these supporting items for his team. It's going to be nice. Level 25s also, we saw both of them. We saw the DK one earlier, but the Lash now too. Lorinov has a lot of Edict. If he gets on the 2 supports, they're going to evaporate.
Nuffle's going to start the Roche. They know he's in there.
See how they approach this fight.
I mean, they want to try and stop this.
Nice path. I think they saw Panto for a second there. Jump from Nightfall.
At the same time, indeed, trying to start the fight to the side. Get the Atos onto him.
Roche is very low.
I mean, Aurora could just head back in and finish it, surely. As they look to finish it off.
Headshot.
Bart. He's going to make a jump, and he jumps straight into the stump for Lorinov. They just turn and kill Bart.
The last shard.
It was there.
And nothing to say. He's just dead to Lorinov as well.
Oh, that couldn't have gone much worse for Tidebound there. Bark tries to time the initiation, but it literally blinks in, caught by the split earth immediately. It's all Aurora's.
Beautiful fight. Beautiful silence, the global coverage onto everybody. There's nothing they can cast. No Wukong's available. And he just gets right on him. Oh, yeah, Lorinov just completely evaporates, nothing to say. 26,000 gold lead. Now they've got an Aegis on their frontliner too. Nightfall, he just pops the refresher.
Yeah,
he wants to go for it. There's no Monkey King for 50 seconds.
It's a long time.
They can likely clean up the whole base with this.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to say. Had a good opening to this game, but you're definitely seeing why they're happy to play the Lesh against it, because in the long run, Lorinov's just been able to do so much more on the Lesh track this game.
Feels like the story of Monkey Kings for a while now, where they have a good start. And
talking about the man he's in, but Shiro will try with the Sunder. Lorinov, give it the Aegis pretty quickly, so that's the Aegis gone.
He still does an absurd amount of damage.
And he's making space for them to take the bottom set of barracks. They clean up the bottom set, move over towards the mid. And they can move over towards the top as well here if they want to, Aurora.
That is going to be the Mega's done. Flawless game from Nightfall as he jumps forward.
There gets the catch on the Bark. We had to force away, Blade Mail out, but still taking so much damage from this Dragon Knight that Bark, he's out for 100. Any final fight they have will be without their Centaur. That's Aurora with the Mega Creeps, ready to start beating into the tier 4s. Tidebound. Do they have any fight left in them?
Lorinov's continuing.
Sure, can still do a lot of damage, but meta, 50 seconds.
The banner's down as well, so those creeps, they're not going to be dying here, so they can continue this push. Lorinov.
Shiro making the change up there. As BKB was still on cooldown, so sells it so he can get the S and Y instead.
Oh, cool.
And in they go, nothing to say.
He jumps in.
He's able to get the mantra off. Look for the Wukong spot. Global silence is there. They're trying to force nothing to say back to safety, but Lorinov's on top of him. He'll fall. Shiro's out. This game's over. GG's called. Aurora will take this game 1.
The core is played so well on the side of Aurora this game. Nightfall, 10-0-12, a flawless game from him. Lorinov,
fantastic.
7-3-14 in Toronto.
Time here between Tidebound and Aurora. Let's see if Aurora can make it through this. As we've seen the trajectory of a lot of their other series, right? They win game 1, then game 2 they look like they're winning, and then they don't win it, and then they go game 3 and it gets rough. So let's see if Aurora can stay on track today.
Did I just hear someone use a fairy fire? I think I heard someone use a fairy fire.
I definitely heard the fairy fire.
I heard a fairy. Who was it?
Do the maths.
Who was it?
Is it Shiro?
I think it was Planet. Is it Planet? Planet's missing.
No, do the maths on Shiro. No, it's not the maths on Shiro.
Somebody used a fairy fire, but I was not clicking on them.
Do the maths on Bark.
Oh my! You're gonna really make me do this.
You can do the maths.
No,
right?
he has enough. Triple
has
branch.
enough?
Yeah, triple branch plus 1 is 600. So no, that's not him. Or Quadling plus branch, whatever.
Wait, who was it?
I think it might have been Planet. Oh well.
Yeah, it has to be Planet. I think it was Planet.
Let me see.
It must have been Planet, right?
Whatever.
Yeah, look, we can see here with the net worth. Yeah, it's Planet, right? Because he's got the lowest net worth.
30 seconds.
Right? That's how that works? How does that work? I don't know. You do
He
it.
buys a century. Let me see. Double century. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he used it. As far as I was.
Somebody used the fairy.
Somebody used it. Okay,
so
so
too excited, slammed the keyboard, pressed the fairy.
I think he was moving the slot for the
Yes,
for the like cent
happens.
knobs or something, and it
Yeah.
happens. Okay, whatever. Anyway. So looking at these drafts, I mean, Aurora, we've seen a couple games, a couple series of them where they do very well in the first game and then falter in the next two. This time, they got another draft that's super comfortable for them in the second game. It looks really strong. They've got Nightfall on his PA that dominates a lot, and they have Lorinov on the Storm that he gets quite, I mean, he does very well on, and they have good coverage with it, right?
Like,
they have
it
the
feels
global.
good.
It looks like a great draft from Aurora.
Yes.
For Tidebound, it looks a little bit older, I guess I could say, right? With the TB throwback off lane, they're going for this attempted co-op to pressure the Storm, but a lot of these times we've been seeing the Storm's handle versus the Queen of Pain.
Oh, yeah, they could do fine.
Yeah, let's see how these lanes end up going down. Because if you want to go Dagger, you have to do that in order to bully. If you don't, the Storm ends up being able to trade. So nothing to say wants to try to bully, he's going to go for Dagger.
Yeah. No, it does feel very solid from Aurora.
It sure does.
To the point where I think if they are to not win this game, they're going to have to tilt it harder than they've ever tilted before. You know, that's because it looks good. The draft,
it looks very good.
It looks like one of those drafts. If you lose this game as Tidebound, you're kind of kicking yourself for letting Aurora have this good of a draft.
Panto and Planet duking it out. Panto actually almost just dies to the auto attacks there. Yeah, I'm really curious to see the concept of this TB offlane now, because they mentioned it over and over there. What is the itemization going to be? Because Pipe doesn't look nearly as valuable. It's not as good anymore in the meta either.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because I'm looking at what we've had before from Bark when he's been playing the offlane. And he played it a month ago, and indeed that was the meta where you're
Panto.
getting the Pipe build at first. Panto is going to go down, so Bark will claim first blood. And Bark, he's been doing it, he's had like 3 games in the last week in his pubs. Has won every one of them, playing the offlane TB. But again, they're all kind of like this pipe first build.
Yeah, and this game, it's a lot of physical damage.
Yes.
They have Pango, they have PA, yes, Storm, and Silencer, you'll block some, but is that really worth it?
Well, that's the thing, is the Storm not enough, really?
It doesn't feel like that's enough.
It's not a good investment. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what Bark's build is today.
Yep. And yeah, we'll see in particular how these lanes do go down, in particular that mid lane, to see if they can, if nothing to say, can bully Lorinov, because he's got the 2 points in Shadow Strike now. See how much that's going to actually do. I've seen this quite a bit too, this Pango versus Tiny, when he's safe lane Tiny. I quite like it, because it's that all physical damage versus a Tiny who has pretty much 0 armor.
Sure.
So you actually can trade pretty effectively. He does have a Jakiro behind him, which is one of the best supports, as we always say, but yeah, Toronto Tokyo should have a pretty okay time down here, as long as he doesn't play too aggressively.
Now we'll see how much you can slow down. Shiro.
And we have to mention them trying to find an answer versus this global. I think, Panel has mentioned about the Shadow Demon. I was thinking the same thing with the Shard. When you get the cleanse, you can constantly get the Dispel on either yourself or whatever target you want to throw that cleanse out. I guess that must be the concept of what they wanted. A save for the Storm jump and then also just a way to cleanse and get rid of Global, because Global is looking very terrifying in a lot of these games.
I mean, it really just has this reverberating silence.
It really is
facet that makes it crazy.
Yeah.
That you get that secondary instance of it coming in when you try and dispel it. But yeah,
the demonic
Shadow
cleanse.
Demon will be the answer to that.
Yeah, that's the
Give
one
that
thing that
persistent cleanse, 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 purge, purge, purge.
Exactly. So we'll see if that does come into play. Shiro ends up losing his courier. That's a big courier kill from Mira.
That's a full Wraith Band.
Full Wraith Band, so that's the armor that he wants to have in this matchup versus the high physical. He was able to find the Healing Lotus, though, so he should be just fine. Salve gets canceled by a Blood Grenade. Nice play there from Mira, preventing Y from getting that extra healing. Right now, lanes, the setup is looking good.
Yeah, good lane so far for nothing to say. He is winning this matchup.
Yeah.
Very much so against Lauren Officer. We've seen some Storms manage to stand up against the Quap a little bit better than this, but yeah, this time round, nothing to say. Definitely abusing the advantage.
So perhaps that is the whole approach here that's coming out from Tidebound. They just want to start the game better than the last game. All three lanes looks like they should be pretty decent for them now at this point.
Yeah, they definitely played a much slower game last game, which did not work out to their favor.
No. A couple mistakes adding up for sure in that last game. Nothing to say. I think this time he wants to have a much more comfortable kind of hero. Not to say Monkey King's not super comfortable for him, but it can be one of those heroes that can just, yeah, fall off very quickly. So I'm curious to see what he's going to be able to do on the Queen of Pain and what build he goes down. And if it's even going to work out, because it is a Queen of Pain that they picked into Shadow Shaman and Global, right? So the laning phase he can bully, but there is some things that he does have to be careful of in terms of control. But a lot of denies. I mean, 16 on nothing to say.
Yeah, he's crushing it. Feeling fueled up after he had a bit of a rough game last game of the series.
That's what it looks like. I mean, he's level 5.5. Lornoff is a 4 3/4, so yeah, he's really dominating this right now. He's being kept low, but got the Shadow Strike to be able to kite out the Storm. And he actually gets the connection there. Raindrop is purchased, but it's going to go through a couple of those. His plan is actually perhaps making the move. He's going to glyph the wave, nothing to say.
And they're close to getting a kill.
Double Shadow Strike.
They should have him here if he wants to step up. Okay, I guess he's still level 1 Scream right with the max of the dagger, so yeah, Scream wouldn't have done much at all.
Still puts him very low. Shiro now bottom.
I'll try and turn on Mira.
A lot of damage. This physical damage versus him. Can't quite close that gap. Be kept low though, 300 HP now. Toronto Tokyo a little bit healthier. They might go for the secondary catch here. There is mana for the Ice Path, though, available from Y. So they can't stop the Shackles if Mira goes for it. Nothing to say has hit 6.
And Panta's around there. Nothing to say. It's very low.
He's got the blink.
And he's going to TP out. Down around the Lotus pool. They'll be able to kill off Mira. So they can deal with Toronto Tokyo as well.
Very tanky. But it's enough damage to go through the shield. He has the TP.
And we'll be back to the base with that one. So the lane's freed up.
Ooh, he gets clipped by the 5th poison. Only just at the end there. Planet was able to take the rune as well there with the disruption play. Gets the shield rune. 3-0 off of these lanes now.
It's looking good. Yeah, nothing to say. He's back in the lane now. Full HP, full mana, and Sonic Wave ready to go. So, yeah, Lornoff's going to hit the jungle and make sure that he can find the 6 there. Doesn't want to show his face in the lane. Does mean Planet's going to come and mess with him, though.
And the high armor TB versus the PA in the lane, absolutely working so far. Their Nightfall is still farming very well, but Bach isn't getting pressured up here yet. We do see Nightfall on that PA has had a pretty absurd win rate.
Pretty much always wins.
Yep.
Yeah, just that one loss. Which I'm gonna have to go look what exactly happened. Can you remember the loss?
I can't remember the loss actually. I think we casted it though, which is very likely.
I'm gonna imagine it was probably. Oh, yep, he's dead in the mid.
Quick bring down.
I mean, this mid's a pretty scary place to come right now for Aurora. Not easy for many of their heroes to come here.
I mean, this is Lornoff is truly getting bullied. The definition of bullying. 23 denies. You do not see this too often. And they're playing the coverage. Like you said, Planet is just sitting in the jungle, watching to see if there's an opportunity to go for him too.
Yes, the one loss that Nightfall had on his PA at this tournament was the game against Liquid. Yeah, where we saw Boxy crack out the support void, I think for the first time, right, or whatever in this tournament.
Yes. Yes, that's
And it was like kind of a slow start, but then Liquid overtook the game with the Void, the Puck, and the Magnus.
Bottom, looking for Shiro. Fairly durable, and here's nothing to say.
Lovely angle with the Sonic Wave. Lays it down the two supports, cleans up Mirror, and stops Aurora from being able to push on and threaten Shiro.
Yeah, super solid early game with these lane setups that they've got so far. Shiro is still a little low down.
He's got to be a bit careful.
Toronto Tokyo goes for it, and he gets him.
Risky show there from Shiro.
I'm shocked that he did
not respect the fact that Toronto Tokyo could have still been around, and he had no HP to play with.
He had, what, 300? Something like that. He just walks up.
That was risky.
Very risky. Now tower damage is going to be coming out for Toronto Tokyo. Rotation is coming in from Planet. Got a big kill onto the Tiny. The first one that Aurora is able to claim in this early game as we get some lag. Whoa!
Okay.
Owen.
That was big lag.
What did you do?
What's going on?
And off of that, nothing to say is rotation. Gets the move on bottom, goes mid, gets the amp damage rune. Level 7. Lorinov has hit the 6, so he's a little bit safer, but he is very far behind at this point in this early game. 1,200 behind the Quap.
He's got quite the recovery to make.
Yeah, and let's see what... Bach hasn't shown what build he's gone for just yet. He's
no, yeah,
standard.
I mean, I think the other stuff that he's sometimes gone for when he just go for the pipe, he'll go for like just stats like Dragon Lance.
Maybe he just goes a semi-carry build because he has a Tiny in this draft who's struggling a little. Not a lot, but struggling a little bit. He could still look to be that transition. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've had some... sometimes we go for the Manta.
Yeah,
just Manta, BKB, Hurricane. Just, yes, kind of literally building as a carry.
Yep. So we've seen both approaches from these TBs in the off lane. More leaning toward the pipe in some of the meta in the last patch or the patch before that. But
sure. He has tried Orchid Rush sometimes from the off lane.
Oh, it could
on Terrorblade.
That could be possible this game. He's playing versus Storm and Pango.
Yeah.
It could be a possibility. That's a good call. We'll see which one he wants to, what he feels like they need.
It's going to be Orchid or Manta.
Yeah, so that's what I imagine so too. Tried Corrosion. I feel like we see this on every single hero now. So very comfortable as they're making the swing top. Y is in the area. Can look to apply some pressure onto this tower here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Amplified damage rune in the mid will help out there, and Meta up top will help out there. So it's good early pressure that Aurora not really in a position to have much to say about.
No, Toronto not quite 6. Now he's gotten it, but do they want to actually swing over at this point when there's an amp damage, nothing to say on the tower? They're going to have to bring at least 3 heroes over. No global at the ready. Maybe they can try for nothing to say if they get a pull plus a last word. Nah,
yeah, it's just not going to happen. Okay, they'll get him off the tower, but a lot of damage has been done. They have to bring the 3 heroes in, and top lane might even just fall all the way down as Bart could continue to push.
Looks like he should be able to finish it up.
They're taking away quite a lot here early on.
Yeah, it's a beautiful start for their draft. Always a good start versus a PA, being able to get some extra momentum onto these towers so you can find him when he's doing this jungling. So getting top tower, nearly also getting the full mid tower. So we said Shiro is a little bit slowed down here on the bottom lane, but nothing to say. Absolutely massive. Same thing for Bach in this game.
They're getting so much farm, yeah. Bach.
Yeah.
What did he go with?
He's going
Dragon Lance.
Orchid. I imagine he's going the Orchid.
He's going to Orchid, yeah. You're right.
It's such a good game for it.
It's nice. He's going to have it so fast.
It's actually good versus all 3 cores, right?
Yeah.
Because even versus the PA at some points later on, if you can get the Bloodthorn or even early, that silence can be very effective. But versus Storm and Pango, it's fantastic. So, cool. Very cool approach. See if it pays off for him. As again, mid lane, they have a catapult. Want to look to apply this pressure onto this tower here. Lorinov is invis. Panto has not gotten global online yet, though.
He really wants that 6.
Yeah. If they want to look to defend this tower, it feels like they need it.
He's just going to get off these next few creeps coming in if he can survive this. One more to go.
But this tower's going down.
I guess denied actually. This one would give him it. So he's going to have the 6, but indeed the tower goes down.
They get the deny at the least. And yeah, nothing to say. Actually truly bullying. He denied every creep that was coming in for the silencer too. So preventing any extra XP. And he's also going Orchid. So doubling down on these silences, which again, it feels very good this game versus the cores they're playing against.
I mean, at this sort of pace as well, this is probably it's going to be like the fastest time a team's had 2 Orchids online, right?
And these...
You don't always get 2 cores going for it, of course, but yeah, having both cores having Orchid as quickly as they will this game, that's going to be quite something.
And in a lot of situations, you know, it's like, oh, we bought these Orchids, we can't get a lot done. They buy an item to counter it. But what do these 2 heroes buy to counter the Orchids? Pango and Storm in particular.
It's going to be yours, but you never want to get that early on these heroes, right?
No.
That's kind of 2nd, 3rd item.
Storm like never buys the Yules anymore, even.
That's true, yeah. And yeah, what do you buy?
I'm not sure.
You just have to get BKB.
Probably just BKB, but we'll see.
We'll get the catch on to Y. Disruption comes out. Sonic Wave will push them back for now. They'll roll back over. They'll finish off the Jakiro kill. Can they get anything more? They've got the angle to catch, nothing to say. The Global comes out as well. They trap him here in the corner.
Oh!
Is he going to live?
No way. He got pushed up to the high ground.
That's Thunder as well. Buck's going to keep him perfectly safe. He's back at a full HP. He could even think about getting back in on this.
Lornoff still has some mana to play with, plus the Soul Ring. Doesn't look like they want to chase forward.
I mean, the corner they trapped him in.
He got bonked up, right?
He kind of got bonked up, into that little spot, and they couldn't finish him off.
Oh my goodness. Great Sunder coming out from Bach there. They can't finish him off, and they just got the global there. So they'll get the kill onto just the Jakiro, but quite a bit committed for them to go for just that kill.
And that was their sort of chance at a fight whilst these Orchids weren't online. Next fight, both of those Orchids are going to be there.
Yep. Even stealing some stacks here, Planet, and nothing to say. Looking to contest. This is a big Ancient. Is it a 3 or 4 stack?
Yeah, risky to try and take it. I mean, if they bring in like the Jakiro and the Tiny, they can with the Macropire.
I think they can.
They can steal this.
Poisons and everything too. They absolutely can start whittling it down.
Yeah, there we go. Macropire down. They're going to look to take this away. I mean, is there anything Aurora's going to do about this?
I think it's too late. It's already gone.
That's a juicy stack. Was that a triple or a quad stack?
It was quad stack, yeah.
That's all theirs.
And in the meanwhile, that's double Orchids finished. So we do see Baki has it. He's going to go the Manta route next after his Shard. Yeah, these timings, they're very good for Tidebound here.
And look, there's the Orchid reveal.
So early.
Does he have enough damage?
Doesn't look like it.
It's close. Lornoff will live. Very close.
But he just got back out there.
That's true. So now he's got to go all the way back.
All the way back to base.
All the way back to base.
And Tokyo won't be so lucky versus the other Orchid. And now their Shrine is getting contested.
They're going to get, so they steal their Ancient stack. They steal their Shrine. Things are looking pretty good for Tidebound.
Nightfall is top of net worths, so he is having a good time on the PA. But yeah, they're making some really, really hot moves to shut down these other cores.
He has carried some heavy games on the PA.
He has, but he is playing also into some very, I mean, I want to say some pretty tanky cores, right? Tiny with the natural armor that has been reduced recently.
Sure.
But TB still has very high armor. There's the global.
They're going to try and make this play mid, but not going to happen. That's global done for nothing.
And Orchid is also very good versus global because you can still use that Orchid on the Storm.
Yeah, he just the Storm, and suddenly that whole play that he wants to go for, he can't do it. No Vortex coming out.
No global now for quite some time. And it's going to be around the Tormentor timing, so Tidebound can continue getting this advantage in the early game and maybe even being able to hunt Nightfall. Seems like they have an idea of where he is, but he gets the scan off on the side. He's able to protect himself. Nice scan. All Tidebound in these first 15 minutes, besides Nightfall.
I mean, what's sort of their best hope in making a play? Because apparently going under the global is not it. You know, what are you looking towards as Aurora for the next play?
Maybe when Toronto Tokyo can get the access to get into the fight. If he can get a roll off and then they use the global like that, it's a bit different because then he can't get global or he can't get silenced during the roll, but not easy for him to just charge in because he is playing versus Queen of Pain as well too, which is a decent answer versus the Pango. In two different ways, right? Being able to push him away with the Scream or being able to just blink out if the silence doesn't last long enough. This approach right now from Tidebound is absolutely working. Although that PA is farming, they've done an amazing job of just making sure that Lornoff has no game yet. 0, 0, and 1 on the Storm. Has yet to die though, which is a pretty good, not bad there for Lornoff. And look at the build that he's queuing up on Lornoff. He's queuing up Manta, and
I mean, you got to get something for the Dispel. And you know, Manta probably feels the nicest.
I mean, no one likes Yules anymore on Storm. I swear to God, I can't even remember the last time someone went for it. So.
Yeah, it just doesn't flow nicely with your kit. But yeah, Manta is going to be the way to go rather than BKB because again, you don't really want to be buying first time BKB.
It's still such a weird item though. Probably just feels like he needs it though. Smoke coming up. Looking to get these pressure plays. Planet, he's queuing up the Shard as soon as possible. As we talked about, the cleanse this game versus the global is something they absolutely want online early. Lornoff.
He's going to get caught by the silence. He's looking pretty dead.
Sure is.
It's a tough game.
And the tower also, they used their glyph. There's a catapult here. This tower's dead. Every move is hitting from Tidebound.
And just really good itemization. They had a really good plan this game. Getting Bark on his offlane TB, getting this extra Orchid Rush.
And they can
it's
also
doing a lot.
And with the carry Tiny,
And mid.
he can go Silver Edge for the PA. So he can have that extra answer as well. And this game plan is actually working beautifully right now.
Let's see. It's just can Nightfall carry
Nightfall
this?
do it?
Can he do it? He's only lost 1 game on his PA this tournament. Which, funnily enough as well, I guess just because of the meta that we're currently in and we have been in, before this tournament, the last time he played PA was back in 2023. He hadn't touched it for like a year and a half in pro games.
That's actually interesting.
You know what I mean? I guess, you know, for sure we've had a whole phase where PA just wasn't it. But yeah, he really hadn't played it for over a year in competitive. Sure, he's in pubs, he plays all the time.
Sure.
But yeah, he's turned up this tournament, he's looked great on it. But has he looked great enough to win this game?
It looks a bit more challenging than usual also because he's playing into the Shadow Demon as well, which, yes, you're a mobility core on the PA, but Purge is still very annoying. When it's just you as that 4 protect 1, if they can always just prioritize throwing that Purge onto you, it really does prove problems, because you can't itemize versus it. Yeah, S and Y can reduce a little bit of it, but BKB is dealt with. And he did go for BKB this time around. I mean, he feels like he does need it versus the heavy magic burst. And maybe he feels like he needs to get involved, because his team is struggling so much.
Yeah, it's definitely getting pretty severe, the lead that Tidebound's managed to build up so far, just 18 minutes in. 6k advantage, and all 3 cores in a fantastic spot, whilst as for Aurora, Lorinov still having to make the recovery and having to do it down an item route that is not a hot one or a preferred one for the Storm players.
They're smoking. Planet, he bought the shard, so he does have it. So I'm going to try to keep tabs if he gets that cleanse off pre-global, depending on who he casts it on.
Because how long's the cleanse last when you use Ally? It's still
5 seconds.
5 seconds on an Allies, right? So
it got nerfed by 1 second last patch, sadly.
So you could definitely try for the clutch stuff against the expected global timing.
I think the Manta's coming out for Toronto, Tokyo in a second, so they will have a dispel. He's looking to get the start of the fight with the roll. On to Planet.
I'm gonna make the jump.
Gets the cleanse off.
We'll get the disruption off as well here, giving him a bit of a chance. He's able to turn with the he's still alive here.
He's still alive.
The global will come out now, but now Nightfall's in trouble. Put the beacon, he's trapped in the Serpent Woods.
His teammate.
He's trapped in the Serpent, so he'll get the blink off in time, but it doesn't matter. Oh dear.
A devastating fight.
Oh no, he was spent so much time there, just stuck in the Serpent Woods.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Gets trapped from his... But to be honest, Owen, though, that fight's already over anyway.
I mean, it almost certainly was, but it definitely doesn't help.
No, insult to injury. That is for certain, as the SD lives for an eternity.
We've got to see that replay again. Was that... Because, did he jump into them, or were they laid down on him? You know, who's taking the blame on that? Let's have a look.
I think they were laid down on him.
We're watching Miriandi. Nightfall's already there. He's looking to stick around to finish off the Shadow Demon kill. Jumps in again. BKB. He's all right for now, but then he just gets Serpent Warded. Unfortunate.
Well, it happens. The fight looks pretty over from there anyway, though. The initiation, it's not clean onto the SD. He survives an eternity, and all of Tidebound is there to respond. A 9,000 gold lead. This one is looking really difficult for Nightfall. As Panto, he walks into TV and just gets insta-killed.
Can they recover from this? They've not, as a track record's gone right, when times get hard for this team in a game, it's not been easy for them to pull it back.
No, and usually it's like Nightfall we talk about with this PA, but Lorinov a lot of times is that driving force to get them back into games too, and he just has literally no game because of this pick.
And look at this.
He's gone again.
Shiro got enough on his own. It doesn't matter, he's not even on his own. Nothing to say, he's here to help out. Lorinov dead again, and the Shrine of Wisdom will be protected.
Nothing to say, having, I mean, infinitely better time this time. On the Queen of Pain.
Crushed it on the Quap.
Yep.
Really did, you know, I said we've seen some Storms do all right against the Quap. That wasn't the case this game. No. Quap completely dumpstered him.
3 points in that Shadow
Nothing
Strike.
to say his performance.
You see the difference that it can make. He's got the Searing Signet too, one of the best items you can get for the Quap. Level 15, BKB's done. So they have all the answers now for the global, for the roll. Yeah, they're hitting it on all cylinders this time around, Team Tidebound. Almost having the Silver Edge as well, as we mentioned from before on the Tiny. Bottom, why?
I mean, these two are looking for some action, Mirror and Nightfall.
He's got a connection of the Quap soon.
Backup's on the way. Sonic Wave just down on a Mirror, so Mirror will die. Nightfall's going to get away with this. You know, they take a trade, Nightfall lives. Support for support. They're happy with that. It's something. Probably the best trade they've had so far this game, Aurora.
That's pretty fair, actually. Mid tower, though. All tier 2s have been taken out at the 22-minute mark.
Yeah, that's
Radiant's top tower
not going to give a lot of space for Nightfall to farm.
I mean, if any hero can do it with this type of deficit, it's a PA.
It would be it would be a Nightfall PA.
Yes.
It's as I say, all eyes on Nightfall.
It's just, yeah, when I see the SD and then I see the Silver Edge on the Tiny also, it feels like it's almost too much of a mountain for him to climb when your Storm is this far behind. He's essentially turning into a 4 or 5 position on Lornoff. And even like, yeah, he'll have Manta for dispelling these Orchids, but what the hell does a Manta really do for the Storm Spirit besides getting that dispel, right? Doesn't really give him what he wants. The Kaya, the damage that you usually get from all these things, it's usually what a Storm Spirit needs to progress in a game. Is Roche. Easy for Tidebound. Very cool stuff from them this game. That little pivot that they did with the TB and Tiny is, I mean, worked beautifully.
That's looking really good.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
All right, Nightfall getting his Manta next. Wants to have that dispel as well too. Still versus these
Radiant's
Orchids.
top tower has fallen.
Let's see if Planet does go down this route, because I thought he might actually still go down the Aghanims route anyway on the Shadow Demon. Because he is playing versus a PA just in case of anything, right?
Yeah, I
He'll
think
have
so.
that break. But he's going to go more defensive, it looks like. We'll see if he actually commits.
Yeah, I guess
Depending on how rich he is.
wants to make sure that he can survive if they do find him,
Bottom tower is under
so he can
attack.
still get the chance to play.
And the map, just at this point, it's constricted quite a bit because they've lost all their towers. So you see, Tidebound, very easy for them to swing around and look for something. Panto actually
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
passing them perfectly here. He looks like he might be okay. Oh, maybe not. He's found.
Yep. They'll catch him. Does mean that
survived.
and Nightfall gets the information.
Yep.
And stay safe.
That's kind of what his job is at this point right now. Is he's just walking in the jungle to tank a gank.
Just buy time. Keep this game alive for the PA.
Yeah. But my goodness, this is the real test for the PA.
Dire's middle
Push commencing.
Switching as well, Nightfall. Instead of the Manta, wants the S&Y instead.
Okay, yeah. Just feels like that dispel isn't enough. He needs to be able to stand his ground and fight. They're smoking to look for the wraparound.
Let's see what they can get with this.
Into Aegis.
Gonna have global back up in a few seconds when Panto's back in. You're trying to jump the supports first here.
Yep.
Here we go. Gonna try for the grab, but the BKB is
BKB's out.
already out, and that should give
It
him the
actually
chance to get up, and nothing to say. Ooh, get the blink off in the last moment. Sonic Wave won't catch anyone, but he's still alive around the quad. The Sunder
Sunder.
from Bach, getting nothing to say. Back up to full HP so he can get back in onto Lornoff.
Lornoff can't get out.
Take the Storm out.
They actually got the global after the BKB, but it still wasn't quite.
It was so
very close though.
to killing him. They couldn't do it though.
Nope.
They don't lose anything here, Aurora. And that was, Tidebound and Aurora, they did expend the global.
They expended everything. BKB, PA, Rolling Thunder, absolutely everything committed for that fight.
And here comes the push. And the ice path in onto Toronto, Tokyo. Who silence over towards Mirror to stop the shackles, gives the space for Bark and Shiro to clean up the mid-racks.
has fallen.
Can perhaps continue. They still got the Aegis. They know that they used everything on the side of Aurora too, so top as well, getting sieged.
Dire's structures
Yeah, they went fully all in to try for the play.
And in they go. Jump in silence on a mirror. See Lornoff zip in. Trying to grab the creep wave. Toronto Tokyo's going to get turned towards the up on the high ground. They have the silence into the toss. Toronto Tokyo's going down. Out for 50. Mirror trying to step back. And they did their best there, you know. Lornoff trying to stop the push from coming in, but couldn't clear out the wave. It's still there, pressuring in onto the barracks.
Raxes are falling.
As they are going to be able to clean up this full set top. Panto is jumped immediately by nothing to say in Shiro. The silencer falls. No
BKB.
buyback available on him. Buyback will come out from Toronto Tokyo and Miro. They have the Rolling Thunder connection onto Shiro, but Shiro's in with the
Nightfall.
combo. Gets the toss back onto Nightfall. Nightfall has to jump back to safety, but Bark's moving in. Looks to Mira. He's out for good. Dieback on him.
Nightfall can't, he doesn't do damage at this point. They're too tanky. They might just still continue. There's one set left. They've got meta back up for Bach. And Nightfall just has to run during the majority of his BKB again. That's likely just it. They're going to look for one final wraparound, but it's spotted.
Nothing to say. Just blinking. They've got the global. Trying to focus the prop first. Laurenov's in with the follow-up. They've got the control. Nothing to say. So get protected by the disruption. And that's Nightfall dead. As the Macropie gets laid down upon him. Toronto Tokyo cannot escape. Neither can Laurenov. It's over. GG is called. This game 2, Tidebound, turning up. Not afraid to let Aurora have their PA and just stomp them in this 27 minutes. They've come in with the approach that counters one of the ways that Aurora has been relying on to win the games they have so far this tournament.
Truly, and the concern really is there now. The formula is starting to be set. We've seen Aurora in so many of these series.
They win game 1.
They win.
Time here between these two teams. Game 3 of Tidebound and Aurora. And what do we make of this? Well, we're getting another PA game. Obviously, it didn't work out too hot for Aurora last time, but still, the track record overall has been very good for Nightfall's PA, so we'll see if we can pull it off here. Tidebound, they get the chance to obviously counterpick that Ember as they get that last pick, and it's going to be the Slardar, which we have seen tried a few times. Mixed results.
Yes. So the one thing, though, that I think it was, we casted this one, if I'm not mistaken, right? We did see a Slardar versus Ember, but there was a Lycan in the game. So it changed the matchup because the Lycan went Howl level 1. I don't know why that's sticking out to me. I don't know why I remember that specifically, but it actually made the matchup a lot better for the Ember. I think that was the matchup, at least. But yeah, we'll see. Nothing to say. He clearly wants to dominate the mid lane, right? He's trying to counterpick and look for that. Let's see if it ends up working out. Looking at the Dawnbreaker pick, maybe not the easiest overall in the lane to set up these Starbreakers. There's always going to be the Avalanche that can come from the Tiny if he wants to put an extra point in toss. And the CM, this is something that I think we've seen Falcons mostly do. I don't know if I've seen anybody else do it, but the barrier from the CM. I feel like this can actually add up a lot in the lane phase when you're playing versus two physical cores. So we'll see how these lanes end up going down. Because I think that's going to tell the tale of a lot of it for me, right? Because that last game, the lanes were incredibly one-sided.
Sure. That was the overall thing, right? Last game, they let the PA in. They had a way to close game 27 minutes in and crush the PA. You're seeing them also have that similar potential this draft against this PA that they let through.
I don't know about close the game by 25, but
no. Okay.
We shall see. I think it's quite a different approach. It's a lot of small skirmishing from the side of Tidebound this time around,
sure.
But they don't have the luxury of just being able to itemize and just counter completely this time. Like maybe they can actually, but I don't think we'll see like these Orchid sight. Like you can't really go for this type of build on something like Slardar to Baden. They just itemize this the natural way. But I'm mostly looking at mid lane. Because the other thing for me for Aurora is I feel like a lot of their draft is going to be around how Laurenov does in this game. Because he's the setup. They don't really have any stuns besides the chains to set up for that Dawnbreaker ult. So I feel like if Laurenov comes off to a really bad start, the game could be really problematic for them to do stuff.
Yeah, and Nothing to Say has played the first wave very nicely here.
Yep.
We'll see if, Laurenov can kind of keep up with the Slardar in the matchup.
Because, when I'm looking at like how some of these team fights can go down, it's like slight chains and then they can get follow-up afterwards. Otherwise, like, how do you actually approach these fights? Well, for Tidebound, I feel like they have multiple different avenues to kind of enter these fights. Yeah, this mid matchup though, as you say, very difficult.
It's not easy for Laurenov to step up. Has to just be very smart with the slight fist usage.
At the least, he can go Flame Guard, right? You can't break it as the Slardar, so once he's at level 2 Flame Guard, that damage can start to add up, but level 1s is pretty underwhelming. Planet. I think a hefty beating there from Pantho, but we'll be okay.
How's the lane for the PA this time around? Bit
Better.
Easier than last time, yeah?
Yep, definitely better. The last one was just, difficult. You can never make an aggressive move out onto the Tower Blade. First, the Abaddon, lower armor, can look to actually pressure him with that physical damage. Laurenov. He's got the bottle delivered. I think if he didn't get that bottle delivered there, Nothing to Say might look to apply more pressure. Not going to be the case. But yeah, this bottom lane, it should be pretty good for Shiro, unless there's a mistake that comes out when they use their Avalanche. Just Planet.
Should be going down.
Oh, he blood grenaded. Okay.
All right, we'll set up for them to find the trade, you know.
Okay,
I felt that he was dying anyway,
yeah,
so
exactly.
Give the opportunity for Buck to be able to turn and take Panto down in return.
I love when I see that. People blood grenade and they just end up ticking out immediately after it. Bach is getting no last hits up here. 10 and 6 on the PA, 3 and 1 for the Abaddon at the moment. So they're doing a great job of just controlling. I mean, so many denies on Nightfall.
Yeah, that is surprisingly low, honestly, for the first few waves. I would have expected a little bit more from the Abaddon on the first first few minutes, but yeah, slow start for Bach.
Yeah, just actually missing last hits a couple times here, so. And every time they stand together, the SD and the Abaddon, they both get hit by Curse, so he can only shield to remove one of them. He has to pick. And they've actually gone aggressive. Every time that Bach has shielded himself, they instantly jump on Planet. So this time he throws the shield onto Planet. It looks like rather than going for any aggressive play bottom, now they've hit 3 on Toronto Tokyo, so they can look for an aggressive play if they catch the CM out of position. They've been playing it more about farming until now, where Mira was a bit far. Do they have enough?
And he's still got Lotus and Shikuchi in a second. Yeah, they can't kill him.
And you got the bugs on them. A little extra XP. They get a little extra gold. Nothing to say is having that advantage at the moment, though. Not nearly like last time, though. Last time it was like 13 denies or something at this point already, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe like 10. But he really got out of control with those denies to just make sure Lornoff was so low level. This time not going to be the case. Lornoff having a better time than that last time by a significant margin.
Yeah, at least this time round on the Ember won't really have any sort of pressure on him to deviate from the standard build, right?
Exactly, that too, yeah. That's
he doesn't have to go for some sort of crazy adaptation because of the heroes they have.
Yeah, no Manta. No Manta Storm. Not this time around, he can go normal. Level 5's been hit, so nothing to say, still has that level advantage. But yeah, last time, he was approaching 6, if I'm not mistaken, when Lornoff was still 4. And all those extra denies really had started to add up. So yeah, Lornoff standing his ground. Top, Bach getting gone on, no shield available. The disruption. Yeah, Nightfall absolutely free farming, and Bach is definitely starting to struggle quite a bit here. Every time he steps up, they make the aggressive move. He's gonna have to bring some extra regen.
It feels like it doesn't really get any easier from him up here.
Not.
Like they will constantly pose kill potential.
Every time they can just poke him. The constant poke from level 2 glaives, it really does start to add up.
Same to be said for Planet. They have to be very cautious. They've kind of got the 2 saves, the disruption and the shields, but if they're used and they can jump them and kill them.
I mean, this is why we've been seeing also the silencer pick.
Chair. Uh-oh.
Fix that chair.
Watch out for the chat.
That's why we've been seeing the silencer picked so much more too. Besides just the global, his laning phase is actually, it's not bad at all. The level 2 glaives, especially if you're playing into a lane that's just going to give you the stick charges, he has the mana to constantly spam them out.
It's
you throw
strong,
a dagger, it's really strong.
Because it felt like, because Silencer used to be kind of similar to like an AA, right?
Yeah.
It was like, what is this hero going to do against any sort of off-lane duo that can pressure? But yeah, nowadays, in a much better spot.
I mean, the buff on the damage, right, itself, just you can see the percentages that they increased on that Glaives of Wisdom. That's why you see people getting the 2 points early on.
Talking about the Silencer, moves down to the bottom lane, Panto.
Yeah, looking to pressure Shiro off of the wave here. That's nice for Toronto Tokyo. He's going to be level 5 off of this. Yeah, his Panto's realizing, I can do whatever I want. My Nightfall is literally free farming.
Yeah, he wants the solo XP.
Yeah, he wants solo XP.
He wants to solo farm against Bach now.
And there's no, they really can't pressure him with an SD and an Abaddon now at this point.
No,
so he can't be left alone.
And if he's going to die, it's going to take so much time that you can easily TP in to help him out. So yeah, Nightfall can get just the complete free farm solo now.
I mean, it would have to be a third hero that rotates up, right? But he's just able to play around with it with the Blink Strike. We've seen him do it so many times with the Phantom Strike.
The curse of the bugs out onto the 2 of them.
Shiro.
He's going to get TP back up, and not before it goes down. They get the crush on Toronto Tokyo. Bash to interrupt the Starbreaker. Caught under the tower. Toronto Tokyo will get taken out in return. We'll see now the attempted chase over towards Panto. Nothing to say.
Damage.
Should be able to get this one as well. Bash comes back in. So they'll punish them for that. They tried to set up for a play themselves with the 3 of them, Aurora, but nothing to say comes in and cleans up the favorable trade.
Instant TP from him. He's the one who's going to... It feels like he has to be the difference maker, at least with how the pace is going right now, if he can make those moves. Lornoff, he's still behind versus Slar, but that's the double kill that he just was able to get there. Yeah, good aggressive move coming out from Aurora, even though they do get punished. Shrines, a normal 1-for-1 exchange. And Nightfall, loving life, nearly level 6. But now Bach also, he's probably like, all right, well, I'm actually getting a little bit of space here myself. Rotations now coming in from both sides.
He's got the level 6 Bach.
Nightfall. Let's have to back away for a second. If he jumps back in, he could go down. Now that the poison's there, unlikely that Nightfall jumps in.
Yeah, they know that the three of them are up here, but White does get the angle from the side with the Frostbite. Nightfall's able to jump back over to Panto.
Planet is on top of him.
Still trying to stay focused on towards the PA, but Nightfall's able to get out of this, and now time's been pulled for Lornoff to come in with the backup. We've looked to try and close him with the Remnants, but he's got no mana really to play with. Lornoff has not got a lot of mana to do much with here.
Mira's here.
And they're looking at Bark still, but he still has that skill point ready to go with the borrowed time. There it is, stays on top of Panto. He's going to be able to kill off the Silencer. They'll lose the Shadow Demon to the side, as Aurora will still get the favorable clean up top.
And Nightfall gets both kills.
Big money for him.
He's super happy. He's like, they just brought 2 supports to give me some kills. Very nice. They end up making the rotation with Lornoff, a good rotation. Seeing nothing to say, of course, still thriving at the top, but Lornoff enabling his core. Solo Guardian now also available for Toronto Tokyo, so if there is another aggressive move, he can look to bail Nightfall out.
Yeah, the Dawnbreaker could be quite the nuisance for how Tidebound want to play, right, when they have like this mid Slardar, you know, a hero that clearly is not going to be AFK hitting creeps, is going to be looking for action. The fact they've got one of the strongest answers in the game to those sort of mid-game plays with the Solar Guardian could make things a bit trickier for Tidebound to get the game going as they'd hope for.
I mean, they have godly counter initiation, right?
Yeah.
It might not be in the terms of like this huge team fight, yes, from the Solar Guardian, but then global covers too. I mean, there's not that much crazy team fight from both sides. It's just that Solar plus global from Aurora, which they have the edge over the side of Team Tidebound.
Yeah, it's just that if they're able to use that consistently to stop plays from Tidebound coming out, it will buy time for Nightfall to get to where he wants to be as the PA.
Yeah, it feels like a much better approach than that last game. Lanes are going much better. Still seeing nothing to say. Having a very good time in comparison to Lornoff, still about 1,000 gold difference. But this feels like a very different type of game than that last one.
Yeah, because it's about getting that Blink Dagger timing and then seeing what you can actually get done with it, right?
Yeah.
How much can you start farming the enemy heroes?
Because it truly does feel like they have to play pretty aggressive on the side of Team Tidebound. They don't want this game to slow down too much when you're playing
I don't think so.
a physical core versus a PA.
Exactly. But this is a game where the PA will be absolutely unstoppable at a certain point.
Yeah, if he's able to get that slow down pace of the game. Has nothing to say. Walks into the river.
They get the chain set up into the Solar Guardian. He'll get the crush off and he'll start to run, but the hammer's there. He'll burn out. There's nothing to say. Falls. Aurora even see if they can dive in for Planet as well. They get the dagger in. Nightfall jumps forward. Starting to see some of the early problems potentially with the approach from Tidebound this game.
I mean, Nightfall getting involved super early says a lot, right? Even though he's farming Battle Fury, he's turning up to these fights. They feel their strength. And we haven't seen the Slardar too much. We've been seeing it kind of falling off a little bit for some teams still picking in the mid, but it's had some of these games that can be concerning if you do get slowed down on this hero.
Yeah, I don't know.
Difficult to recover.
I don't know if it's coincidence as well. I mean, it probably is. I think it was like 8 games. I think for the stat, the only wins it's ever had was on the Dire side. I don't know if there's anything to that.
Interesting.
But maybe we could bring up the Slardar win rate again. I think it was 0 wins on Radiant.
That is actually very interesting.
Top lane Bark. He's going to look to dive in here with the borrowed time. They should get Panto. But of course, Nightfall easily out of there.
They don't overreact to it.
Yeah, so look at that. So out of the 8 picks, 4 wins on Dire.
So is that because Falcons only plays Dire and they're the ones that were winning with it?
But that's maybe something. It's got to be something to do with that, right?
I think
rather than necessarily a connection between Slardar being better on the Dire side.
Because I don't remember who it was, if it was Jenkins or Lacoste or Fear. I remember, but someone told me that I believe it was like 16 games or something from Falcons on the Dire. I can't remember exactly, but I know they like that mid Slardar. So yeah, not sure. Maybe could have a correlation.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Relatively even early game, but the fact that Lornoff is only like 500 behind now at this point, that lane, he's fine, right? He's perfectly fine with how it kind of went down now at this point. 2 points in change, 2 points in slight, and the 3 points in flame guard.
Radiant are scanning.
They're feeling comfortable to get aggressive. Looking for the power rune. Lornoff will get it, so shield rune as well to protect himself.
On the look of a Bark. No borrowed time. Called over for 20 seconds. He's going to try for the TP, but surely they've got enough damage. Yeah, they got him.
He's losing. I mean, how much int has he lost there? I guess you get hit by a lot of glaives, but yeah, he lost an int there. That's his first death, sorry. I guess it was just the glaives hitting him.
Actually, I think the PA is just looking that much more scary than Game 2. Game 2, you could very much feel that Tidebound had a really good strategy to just shut the game down and cause the PA to be a non-issue. The approach this time around so far, it just doesn't feel as strong.
Feel like it. No, and especially with the mid being a full physical core versus PA, right? It's not like some Quap who can burst him or any of these other big burst heroes.
Yeah, the Quap was a big factor
It really was. I mean, Nothing to Say truly dictated the pace of that last game.
Now here's his blink. So let's see if they can get the ball rolling now.
Okay.
But yeah, as you say, Solar Guardian, Global Silence, they've got the tools to deal with this sort of style of play from this mid.
They've got to bring the numbers, right? If they're going to make these moves with Nothing to Say, he's got to have that +1 because that counter initiation is going to be there every time from Aurora. Toronto Tokyo, Blade Mail's done.
Yep.
Playing versus all these physical cores. Feels very valuable this game. Also a natural one for the hero. And he's going to farm some juicy stacks. Yeah, Solar Guardian is at the ready. And the Battle Fury, it's done.
I smoked up with the two of them, Tidebound. Eyeing up potential play here. They get the lead in, but that's not really the one to go for with the blink reveal. I mean, sure, it's the fact that it's the Dawnbreaker. You jump someone else, the Solar Guardian's going to be coming in, but the reality is at the moment, you don't have enough damage to kill that Dawnbreaker, especially not under a tier 1 tower fog.
No, they still had a lot more to react. You can see they didn't even want to. They still had Global. He pumped it for a second. Lornoff still had a TP available too, so yeah, not going to be the case that they can go for that. And Lornoff even buying a Blade Mail himself. So again, playing versus these physical cores. We've seen this build from the Ember a couple of times when you are playing against full physical. They're adapting nicely, not overreacting to the moves. Another rune for Lornoff too. He's able to find a couple of these power runes for himself. Nightfall. Getting chased a little bit there by Buck. Buck looks like he's going to try to go down that same route that he did last game, but it's coming out. I think he had it done pretty much now, or in the next couple moments, having that Orchid. So they'll still try to have this build.
Yes, I think this change-up as well shows, we'll see around the mid, Lornoff.
Planet.
Diving onto Planet. Use the Global as well. They want to get this quick kill and get out of there. They'll kill him off, and now Lornoff able to jump far enough away from Sharon Bark. The Avalanche is going to miss, but the Crush connects onto Mira, so they'll at least punish a support in return.
I think him going to Orchid, pretty much what you're saying is they want to play fast. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they can't play slow.
This is just not a build that he does on his Abaddon. Like, he will get the Orchid eventually, but typically, the other games we've had, it's very much been they pick the Abaddon to farm this Radiance on the offlane. So, yeah, I think this definitely shows that they don't feel this early game's going as great as they want to. They've got to have some sort of changing factor, and this Orchid Rush might be it for Buck.
Shiro just gets tossed by Roshan onto the high ground there. And the thing about this Orchid this game, they're not as ahead by any means, and Ember can go Manta, and it doesn't feel nearly as bad. It feels actually quite good if you get that Manta as a second item on an Ember Spirit if you want to go down that route. Planet. Mira just acquiring experience with the bugs. 15 minutes has been hit. Tormentor. Everyone is shifting.
Aurora.
Nothing to Say is not down here just yet.
I mean, if Aurora can come out on top of this fight, things are going to start getting really rough for Tidebound.
And Nothing to Say is, yeah, he's still continuing to be top, so he's going to show himself.
Okay.
He's letting his team know. He's pinging it. He's like, guys, I'm up here. So with that, Aurora is looking to find a backline hero.
The Blade Mail done on Lornoff.
Hey, Bach's doing a good job of just being that front line, so he's not letting them get to these squishier supports at the moment. All right, Toronto knows he doesn't need to be here. He can go top, get the push out. Lornoff now making his way down bottom. Both teams very patient. Tower mid starting to take some damage. Toronto Tokyo wants to look to respond.
And neither team wants to leave this area.
I mean, Bach, it's a nice move that he's able to do this and prevent them from seeing the backline. Mira now.
They've caught him in the frostbite. Avalanche toss.
He's gone.
That'll do it. So Guardian comes in, but it's way too late to save the Weaver. Pull himself over towards Bark. Bark popping the borrowed time early. Tries to stay on top of the Dawnbreaker, but the chains are out.
Nothing to say.
The Starbreaker Mirror comes in with a buyback time. That's hand the Global. Now they're ready to try and force the fight back as they chase down Shiro, kill him off. Nightfall again being the one to get the last touch on these kills.
I mean, Nothing to Say is very hesitant about wanting to jump in. He just waits and watches on the sideline. They both die. Aurora might look to continue going here, or they might just take that Tormentor with the bugs. Looks like it will be that. A nice buyback from Mira.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brings that extra number.
It was a little awkward with the Solar Guardian coming in late, but
sure.
You know, at the end of the day, they still take the fight, and a fight, as I said, that Tidebound, they really need to try and get something from it.
Yeah, they've really wanted to win that one there. Nothing to say, just he really felt like he couldn't go for the jump forward there. He is 12,
sure.
Has purchased his shard, he's got a Bash Prime.
He might go now.
Yeah, it looks like they want to get a catch. But can they find anyone? Doesn't look like it. Mira actually goes the other way.
Now they're all out.
And he's able to sneak. Aurora getting away with murder.
Dude, that is a cool Weaver set. I like that one. It's like a little wasp.
Oh, that's the one that was...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the newer ones.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That's a good one. Throw out the bugs, help Nightfall farm. And Nightfall's got some fast timings. Battle Fury's done. Manta soon on the horizon. Level 12 for him too. Shiro, still having a decent time, but we're seeing those other cores. At this point now, Lornoff has actually surpassed Nothing to Say after that laning phase. And just having a little bit better impact just with his slight chains. You can see the hesitation coming out from Nothing to Say versus that counter initiation. Solar Guardian's going to be back up. Global's going to be back up. The downtime for Aurora. It's looking good.
It really is. I mean, and this is the thing, right? When you have, you know, you're going for this Orchid build instead because you feel the pressure to do something now as the Abaddon.
They're going to have the counters.
And you're just not going to have that scalability, right, if you go for this Radiance build. And this is in a lineup where you have a mid-Slardar who also is not going to be able to sit back, hit creeps, play AFK gameplay. You know, so if you're not finding action now, it's never going to really get any better. And you're putting a lot of weight on this Tiny to sort of be the scaling hard carry against a lineup that has a PA in the middle of it all. This is the ultimate 1v5 here. The Tiny, not so much.
The scare is, though, it's like, overall for Tidebound, they're probably feeling it too. We need to make moves, right? They need to do something, but the way that Aurora is playing around, it's preventing these moves from happening. And then if they do go for the move, the counter initiation's there. So it definitely is scary moments for Tidebound, but they have to get something done, it feels like.
It really does. I mean, just not much has happened so far. You know, the Orchid was just picked up, but they're going to try and they'll finish off the tier 1 in the mid.
One smack.
But we've got to be seeing more moves, really, I feel, between Bark and Nothing to Say. With the smokes.
I mean, Nothing to Say does have one component toward his BKB, but he's very vulnerable in these team fights. If he doesn't just instantly kill a target, can just get turned on it.
Have they got any more smokes coming out? At the moment on Tidebound.
I saw one on the CM earlier, so I do believe that.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, Wide's got the smoke right now.
Planet also does have the shard, so we will have to watch for the potential of those demonic cleanse plays as Mira is gone.
Yeah. They'll get the Weaver.
Long time that he's dead since he did buyback in that last fight.
Yeah, Lornoff 0 deaths, Nightfall 0 deaths.
And a catch top.
Yep, and it's a nice one.
All you need is one chains before he's got BKB.
It's feeling tough.
It really is.
It's feeling tough. It's early days. It's only a 3k gold lead, but...
A lot of pressure on Shiro, like you said.
This Tiny's got to carry harder than ever.
Yep. He does have, I mean, some support cast behind him with the shield and the Amplify that comes out from the Slardar, but yeah, definitely not one of those easiest matchups as PA. Even if it's a tanky Tiny, when you start getting the farm, you can just eviscerate that hero. Especially if you get a shard at some point too. The shard, just that max percent is really high. Shiro trying to claim the shrine, but they're here for him.
Yeah, they're going to know he's there now.
They get the chains.
They do. They stop Wide from TPing out. And they'll keep the Shrine of Wisdom under their control. They'll take this.
Lornoff will grab that one. Loses his courier. Vox somehow is able to actually just walk in and kill it under the Ancients, but he nearly has his Manta done. So as we said, it's a much better game for, I mean, always a better game for an Ember to get a Manta compared to a Storm Spirit. And they're starting to get all these answers versus that Orchid.
Yeah, they really are. What do they do, Tidebound? I mean, the fact that obviously with the Shadowblade on Tiny is what, like, they have these items to fight and hunt down, right? Shadowblade, Tiny, Blink, Slardar, Orchid, Abaddon, but nothing much is really coming from it.
No. And they always have to just watch out from it's just the counter initiation.
Indeed, this is one of the reasons why we're seeing teams, you know, get this kind of Dawnbreaker Silencer combo, because it stops these sort of drafts being able to do what they've kind of been drafted to do.
Yep, about accelerating the pace of the game. It just you get afraid to make those aggressive moves a lot of the time, especially if a couple of them just go a bit sour. Nightfall, level 15's been hit, takes the material evasion. Very useful this game versus these physical cores, and they're smoking up.
No, they're not afraid to fight at all. And that just goes to show you sort of the rough state that Tidebound are in, right? They've got these items to fight, and it's
Why?
actually Aurora that's not afraid just smoking up and fighting into them. And sort of saying, Tidebound, what are you going to do about this?
Exactly. 5-0-5 on Nightfall. Just continuing to have a flawless performance on this PA this game. It was a gank that was tanked there from the CM, but nonetheless, I don't think Aurora minds getting a free kill. Everything continues going in their favor. Blink now for Bach. I feel like, okay, the double BKBs, and then it's got to be some type of big go time to look for fights for the side of Tidebound.
Is under attack.
This feels with the game state. Aurora feels much happier as this progresses into later stages. After
Yeah, it really does. It's looking smooth. Now, obviously, we do know with Aurora in the past,
yes,
when things have been looking all up for them, they can suddenly start looking all down for them. So even though the position's pretty strong right now, who knows what's going to happen?
That's the blink reveal. Nothing to say connecting over. Bach is taking a ton of damage, though.
I mean, yeah, nothing to say to run. He's like, yeah, good luck, bro.
Yeah. Unstoppable.
I think Aurora, they know.
They know.
Aurora right now, they are feeling very comfortable.
And they're going to be able to just go for this Roche as well. They've got all their ults at the ready. They've got the bugs for the Roche too. Yeah, they're feeling amazing.
Every moment, nothing to say on the Slider is going to be falling behind. But going this Orchid rather than the Radiance build, he's going to be falling behind. It's only Shiro on the Tiny that can keep up. And what can this Tiny do? He's having to get his BKB online first, of course, so there's not going to be that crazy sort of burst damage output from the Tiny. At least at this stage, not enough that really threatens anyone, apart from maybe the Weaver. But honestly, even Mira at this stage might be able to survive.
Yeah, no Silver Edge either for the break just yet, right? It's going to take longer. And this BKB, it's not a trump card. It's not an end-all, be-all BKB. There's a Dawnbreaker.
Sure.
Right? So there's
it's a BKB.
Plus a ton of physical damage on the draft.
Yeah.
It's a BKB just to be able to
run
get
away.
out of the chains and run away. Exactly. So definitely could be problematic for them.
That's tough. Running away, probably not going to win you the game here if you're Tidebound.
No. And they're ticking the boxes on Aurora too.
They are.
Toronto Tokyo, he's going AC. So yeah, just truly understanding the physical component of Tidebound is the only thing that they have to fear first, and they're getting all of the answers.
Yeah, just a really nice draft this time around from Aurora.
Yep. Planet. Another one for Nightfall. Getting every single one of the last hits.
Radiant's top tower has
Looking
fallen.
very comfortable for them as it progresses.
It is. But we say it's Aurora. Crazy stuff can happen.
Radiant's top tower.
Emotions can get too much. Tension can get high.
They got those emotions out last game, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe that was
not.
the strat, because yeah, that last game was, well, that was rough. But game 3 is looking very smooth and looking just all Aurora so far.
Catch on Mira. They've got the burst.
I mean, what do you think is the item they're looking towards next on Tidebound before they're saying?
I think they want to go.
They're going to go now.
I don't think they want to be waiting.
It's just so hard against this draft with the Global and the Dawnbreaker.
Sure is. They need to try to like force the Dawn ult and reset and then go back in afterwards with these BKBs. But yeah, not an easy task. But let's see if they can.
Yeah, they've got to try.
They just don't really have much information. They have no ward over here either. They have the one on the bottom side.
Oh, this is into the Aegis as well.
Yeah.
So into the Aegis, into the Global, into the Solar Guardian. That's just how desperate they are right now.
Nightfall's just jumping in onto Y. No fear whatsoever.
Well,
a lot of healing.
Look at the ults off.
That's a lot of damage.
They'll kill him at once, but can they get out? Slight changes there. They get the bugs out as well, pretty much up to the 3 of them. And now Aurora's ready to dive forward. BKB's pop for Nightfall. They'll turn towards Y. They'll kill off the Crystal Maiden, and they can turn for more. Chasing now, nothing to say in Shiro. Nothing to say to fall. Shiro's BKB about to come to an end. It's just looking far too difficult, Fogged here for Tidebound. They'll get a little pickup at the end. As Bart gets Panto, but overall that fight. More glory for Nightfall, 10-0-5.
It's another one.
They're going to get him as well, surely. I mean, he's going to go for the TP out. They've got something to stop it. They do. Starbreaker hit comes in. They'll get the blink off. They'll make them work for it.
They see him, though. Nightfall able to close the gap.
see, I think you're giving up one to the PA. Okay, Lauren will take
Why
it
not?
with the slider fist. But yeah, the doubts that we have definitely coming to fruition here from what Tidebound can actually do in these fights
And the Solar
against
Guard
Aurora.
And the Solar Guardian actually connected on nothing, right? It was actually came out quite late there.
It didn't
to protect
matter.
Nightfall. It didn't even matter. They were able to just chase through. They were very patient too. The Tidebound, they waited with their BKBs until the whole fight kicks up, and those BKBs actually just do nothing.
Yeah, we'll
They
check
just
it
get
out here
ripped to
again.
shreds. I wonder why he didn't just Solar Guardian here. Maybe they were just calling not to do it, but yeah, it ends up coming out after he dies and whiffs completely. But it doesn't matter anyway. And these bugs, did they catch on everybody? They
I
caught
think
on
the three of them didn't catch the tiny. But yeah, it was a lovely angle with the bugs.
Yeah, and he's able to just cleave them down. I mean, Mira dies again, but it just ends up being the supports every single time that die on the side of Aurora.
Yeah. I mean, even if Aurora do start dying, as long as it's not Nightfall, it doesn't really matter at this point, right? The PA is fueled up and in a position now that if it does start going drastically downhill for everyone else, Nightfall is still very likely to be able to just win the game now.
He's getting close to Satanic as well, too. Yeah, this farm is starting to get... I mean, it's been out of control. Just full control of this game. And for Tidebound, I mean, that was their timing. That was one of their fights that they were looking for, but they're playing into that Aegis because of this pace that Aurora's been able to set. Now what's their next timing? Silver Edge is done for the Tiny, but as we said, for nothing to say, his game has completely fallen off. Same thing for Bach.
Yep. It's hard to keep up.
Mm-hmm. And these ults just are always up. AC is now finished for Toronto Tokyo for that next fight. It's also scaling very hard. Level 20's been hit.
Yeah, they're pretty much going to have that. Not just the AC, but also the Shiva's done on Lauren.
Oh, man.
So they're going to have the double.
He must have gotten so much gold in that last fight because he was pretty far away from anything. And yeah, a full Shivas now as well. It's a tough hill to climb for Shiro. Panto bought the gem. This was earlier, I believe, about 5 minutes ago or so, but Lorinov now being the one to carry it so he can just play on the front. As you can see from the way the Tidebound's kind of standing around, right? They're like, looks like they may be gathering for another potential attempted play. They have a smoke on the SD, but these fights just continue to look very problematic. You have to find the Dawn or the Silencer at least to stop their, if you want to stop their ults. But yeah, just never the case.
Dire are scanning.
Satanic's about to be done, Owen.
Now, how do they kill him?
He's always barriered up. He's always got the backup. Even though the Solar Guardian a couple moments has been late, he does have that backup always, so. Information given. See exactly where everybody is.
And they see Bach.
Bach, not respecting it.
Can try and run. Backup's on the way for Bach. They can't help him though. They have to let him die.
Beyond godlike. Another kill. Satanic finished. Does pop the BKB, but he feels safe because he's got Satanic and Manta behind it. Lorinov
Might still catch. Oh, okay, blink up in time for nothing to say.
Might still get. Why?
They got him with the chains. They'll keep diving in for this. They have nothing to be afraid of right now. Maybe? No, they probably don't.
There's a Solar Guardian.
Guardian's coming in. Shiro has to go for the TP out with the rest of his BKB.
Can he? Oh my god!
He's
100
lucky.
HP.
He's lucky to live there. But again, they're just having to run away from them every single time.
And that's with their BKBs too. Even though they get the connection on Nightfall, he's too tanky at this point, and the Solar comes in. It's every fight. No chance for them.
It's tough.
It's real tough.
I'm looking as well. I don't want to call out teams, but
What's that?
the Slardar victories we've had here at this tournament, they have all been against teams that are no longer here.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
They were the wins that were had with Slardar were in pretty one-sided matchups. Like so, I don't know. Someone. That's the thing, right? Maybe this hero just ain't it fogged.
Maybe needs a buff. More rivers. The whole map will be water in the next patch.
It's just because the wins it had were the first 4 appearances during this LAN, and then the last 4 appearances we had during the later stage, the closest stage of the tournament. That's been when it's lost every game.
Which is, I mean, it's very interesting. Like, they wanted a lane dominator, obviously, versus the Ember, but it just wasn't the same, right? Not at all compared to what the Quap was able to do versus the Storm. He had like a full level and a half advantage, completely shutting down Laurenov and everything. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel as potent. But maybe we have to see the proper game for it, because this one it was also versus a PA, but I don't know. Maybe it is just a bit weak.
No, it's picked into all of this, though, right?
It was picked into all
It was picked into all this. It's not like it was a surprise for Tidebound.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just maybe putting a bit too much stock into that Slardar as a hero.
Yeah, just perhaps. Smoke. Solar Guardian at the ready. Global back up in 5. Aurora the ones that know that they're infinitely stronger. And for Tidebound, yeah, it really is just, you know, let's hope that they overextend. Let's hope that somehow Shiro's able to do something explosive. But they're all, I mean, they're just, oh, and they're so tanky now at this point. I'm just looking at armor.
It's tough.
Ember has 47 armor.
47.
Dawn has 41.
What's the percentages on that? How much physical resistance is that? That's yeah,
like
73% physical resistance, yeah, when your armor's that high.
Versus a pretty much exclusive physical draft. Yeah, Tiny has his, you know, have a toss combo, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's it.
That's it.
Until he has the Revenant's approach. Then he's got a little bit of magic on top of his physical, but still nothing to really turn the situation in this game. It's not easy. Not easy.
That also could be a reason why Slardar is, you know, a bit underwhelming, is there are a lot of ways to get armor. Either from the neutral items, if you get the tough neutral, which gives you that armor, or if you just have to get a lot of these small itemization.
I can discount the
What do you want?
the Slardar wins even more, actually.
Oh, no.
2 of the wins were against Marcy's.
Don't bully Marcy.
Marcy's just a free loss right
Marcy
now. You
really
know?
is a free loss. I don't know.
So
Zero.
beating a team that picked Marcy, you know, that doesn't really show anything.
At some point, I'm going to actually go back and look at the overall
Marcy
across all professional tournaments, because I'm pretty sure it is the lowest of all heroes.
Yeah, Marcy's not been doing too hot.
No, she is.
No.
She is struggling.
Doing less hot than Slardar. That's something.
Roche.
It's going to be that.
Quick and easy one.
I give the Aegis to Panto if you want.
No.
Does Nightfall really need it?
Why not?
I see. It's a sensible man. It's elimination game. It's elimination game.
Also, he wants to die. Like, he's 12-0. He doesn't want to end with a death.
That's true. And that would mean, yeah, the 2 wins, right, if they do indeed manage to close this up without anything crazy going on. Because game 1, right, ended up, what, 12-0 or something on the Dragon Knight.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He didn't die, right?
He didn't die in game 1.
The 2 games that they would win, he would have had flawless
he's
games.
looking at 2 flawless wins here.
Okay.
Nightfall.
Yeah, now at this point, yeah, you can see Aurora very comfortable with anything that's going on. Tidebound trying to, I mean, still trying to get them some of this slight farm. They have Shiro, he has Satanic, but he's deviated away from that Revenant's Brooch. He's queuing up the MKB. Yeah, so just difficult to see how his progression really stands versus this PA. Because that's a ways away. And Bach. And nothing to say. Haven't really gotten too much progression in their growth. Nothing to say. Has hit 20, so he does have the crush that can clear the creep waves. He's got the Aghanims, but his sustained damage just feels kind of weak, right? He blinks in, he crushes, and then where does he go from there? Looking to potentially go for a Shrine Steal. Nothing to say, but no, it's already taken. 3 minutes still on the Aegis. They're going to start knocking on the front door. Aurora.
What do they got, Tidebound?
You get a toss back.
They're going to try.
Just a toss up.
Yeah, just a toss up. And now, he's in. Now, Shiro will be able to stand his ground, so they can get the Aegis out of him. They can. That's the Aegis gone from Nightfall. Global Silence is out.
They've got the Demonic Purge on the Tiny.
Gives him the chance for the toss back, but the Solar Guardian's in. Nightfall's got the BKB, can jump back to the safety of the rest of his team. So here's Shiro. He's going to try and turn towards Toronto, Tokyo, see if they can focus down the Dawnbreaker. The Blade Mail's out. They're going to still try and push forward. Take the Dawnbreaker down. Can they finish the job? They can. Now they can turn over with the crush.
Shiro,
jump and the crit comes out there. Cut straight through Shiro. He's gone without buyback now.
Nightfall playing on the edge of the fights, waiting to jump back in again.
He's absolutely ready to go again. There he goes. Straight overboard, nothing to say. They'll be able to get him out to the side, but the chains will connect on towards him. Bark dying to the glaives.
They're all going down.
And they don't have
Triple
the buybacks.
Kill.
3 heroes out, no buybacks available on Tidebound. As Aurora can take the mid-bracks, they can take whatever they want, really. I mean, they're still a tier 2 bottom, so they'll have to settle for the top bracks.
But they can go for it. That was a lot expended there.
It
Pretty
was.
much everything from Tidebound. No Tiny for, I mean, all 3 heroes gone for 50.
Yep.
They did the cleanse
They
before
did.
the global to go for the tossback play, but they don't have enough to bring down this PA at this point.
Oh, there we go. Top tower gone.
Yeah, you can bring down one of the main targets, the Dawnbreaker, but Lorinov even thriving in this fight too with that Octarine doing the second highest damage. But most of it, that big crit, that fan of knives on the Tiny, chunking them down.
Yeah, about a 1,300 hit coming in, I think.
Yep.
When the crit was there after the build-up.
Last lane.
Well, they'll start working on it. Down to the bottom for Nightfall, bring the creep wave round. So we're going to go through the motions here to close this one up. Unless Tidebound can do something the teams have done before, and that is to be able to kind of force Aurora to tilt. But Aurora's looking strong here today.
I've also haven't
They got it, they got it all out of their system in that rough game too.
They did, exactly. I think that was the biggest thing, right? Just getting all the emotions out in that one.
To suffer the quick, the painless loss, and then come back in this game 3 with the same standard that they did bring in that game 1 showing with, the flawless Nightfall performance.
It's very difficult at this point, versus this PA who's so farmed. And they continue just getting the itemization versus the pretty much strictly physical damage. Even a Crimson Guard. Now for the Silencer. Not your usual pickup, but why not? And 25 for Nightfall. So early this game. As you said, all his timings have been astounding. 15, 0, and 7. He was even getting involved before the Battle Fury.
Yeah, he was, very active early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew that he could play as he did with... once the 6s were online, really, for the Dawn and the Silencer, the fight was going to be a safe space for the PA to turn up to.
Tormentor time. Easy takedown.
Now let's see if we can get...
lead.
Can he get this Rapier online? Shiro.
I mean, he feels like he needs a Rapier.
I mean, he has to. It's the only way they have a chance. It has to be Rapier. I don't want to see this be one of those Rapiers that gets queued up and then gets unqueued up.
Yeah, but what if it's one of these Rapiers where he just, the evasion, the Silver Edge hit doesn't do anything, and then you miss. You gotta just YOLO in.
You gotta hope you get
Fair
lucky.
Enough. YOLO.
Get in with the jump. Hope both of those Echo hits hit. And don't get evaded. I don't know what how much is the evasion now at this point?
What is it, like 60?
I think so, right?
Yeah, it's 60 at 25, right? Yep.
So 60%. So 40% times 40%, what is that? That's like 16, right?
Yeah. So it'd be
so there's a 16% chance that he hits the two, that he hits both Echo hits, both hits. So that's pretty low.
Yeah. And he's got still a lot of armor.
Yeah.
Unless he's, I guess if he gets hit by the corrosive.
But if he's in, like, so how much damage will it be with the Rapier? How much damage will it be if he connects with those two? Let's do the maths whilst we've got this pause. So if he buys the Rapier,
he'll have like,
how much damage is Rapier nowadays? It's like 2. No, it's just 100 plus the thing, so it's 350. So 350 added on top of what the damage he has now. So he has at the moment. Let's be precise actually for the maths.
I'm trying to do it.
633. 633 plus 350 is 983.
Yes.
So then 983 times 2 is 1866. Did I say
1966.
1966. And then so how much armor does PA have?
Dude, I'm not doing all these numbers.
So you got 60. So he's got 2/3 physical resistance. So you're doing a third of 1966. That's basically. It's like 650, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually doing 650 HP with the 2 Rapier hits. He's got 3,400 HP.
And he's got an AC Aura you're not factoring in, and a Solar Guardian that's factoring in.
So in the best case situation, you're maybe taking 500 of his 3,500 health away if you connect the 2 hits when you take into account the armor. And that doesn't sound great, actually. We can hype up the Rapier, but if he gets the hits in, it's probably going to look very underwhelming.
I feel like the Revenant's Brooch with the MKB might just be better, actually. But whatever. Either way. They probably just feel like
let's do the maths on that.
No, get the hell out of here.
But no, you're right. Yeah.
It all just feels bad anyway.
Having a 16% chance of doing 500 damage, maybe you're right. Maybe the actually this Rapier would not.
I actually want someone to post the actual math on it because I'm sure Owen is super wrong. I don't know, whatever.
No, yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot.
It sounds too low. It sounds like it's too low, but
no,
whatever.
but it's right because it would be 2k damage and he has 67% resistance. So he's only taking a third of that. And then you say with extra armor on top, I mean, it's like 600. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
It's going to be underwhelming.
It will.
But we'll see. We might not even get to see it. I don't know if Shira's going to be able to farm up his rapier.
He might have to just purchase a small item, right? Because he's stuck. He's going to be in the base. He might just have to go for the Revenants.
Are scanning.
Or one of these. Moonshard picked up for Nightfall, so he does spend his gold.
I mean, it really is the fact that that's just such a low chance of connecting. I mean, you're 100% right. MKB Revenant's Brooch is better than Rapier.
It just sounds better. Yeah.
It is.
Really
It's definitely better than Rapier right now.
Versatile.
For killing the PA, I guess killing the other heroes. You know what I mean? If he's going on someone else,
so we are only talking about versus the PA.
we're only talking about versus the PA. So we're gonna, but it kind of has to be right because it doesn't really matter if you kill the other heroes because the PA will just solo kill everybody.
Yes.
Radiant's
It's tough times.
Well, they're trying to make a move onto the Dawnbreaker, so trying to get that read finally to stop Toronto from getting at least a Solar Guardian. And looks like they do know where he is, but the push is commencing bottom. Toronto.
And we go. Pretty good catch.
Global comes out.
Very late. That's not bad.
It's a kill.
Yeah, that keeps the game going at least for 100 seconds, right?
Yeah, let's buy the item.
Yeah, Aurora's not going to be playing on whilst their Dawnbreaker is dead, so that's a little bit of something for the team that's 25k down.
Feels like it's the first time they've actually been able to hunt Toronto Tokyo inside of this game, too.
I guess it was inevitable, but the game had slowed down, right? Aurora's probably feeling rather relaxed. Somebody was going to get caught eventually.
Yeah, maybe they were doing the math on all these numbers as well, too.
That's true. They're like, if he gets a rapier.
Shrine of Wisdom. Nothing to say. We'll be able to grab this one. It is a pretty important 25 if he's able to get it. I will say they still are at a huge disadvantage, right? But if Nothing to Say is able to get the Corrosive Undispellable, these small little gains could maybe, just maybe, allow Shiro. Aurora. Seems like they're going to wait for the next Roche. They're also hitting 25 on Ember Spirit. I believe Toronto Tokyo has hit the 25 already. But 35 seconds till he respawns.
I mean, this one does feel unnecessary. I don't know if Nightfall needs a rapier. I'm all for it. But I think he can win this game without a rapier.
He's 50, maybe he probably just wants it.
He wants to win in style.
Yeah. It is pretty cool, too, you know. Being able to, like, one-shot a Tiny. You know, you see 4,000 HP hero and it just disappears.
Oh, yeah, you know,
it's pretty tempting.
You force the GG straight out of them if you get in and kind of two-shot him.
But absolutely does not feel fully necessary.
It's not.
But why not if he wants to? Roche, there's for the picking. They've got a Refresher Shard. They've got a Cheese as well. I mean, Lorenoff now at this point also is... There's a lot of problems, right? Lorenoff now is humongous. He also has, what, 46 armor, too. He's going to have Cheese or Refresher Shard to be able to play around inside of these fights, too. He almost has the same net worth as the PA. So definitely a
he's been
tremendous game for Lorenoff, even though we've talked so much about Nightfall. The fact that he's able to make this type of game 7-0 and 12.
Again, after that last game, right, he had a... honestly, probably his roughest Storm game.
Yeah.
But it was like, what, 1-4-0, ended the game with just a Manta. Like, that is not standard Lorenoff. That probably was his roughest Storm game in a long time.
So yeah, Nothing to Say. They're going for the time. He's trying to farm this 25.
Oh, here we go then. They both bought them.
Okay.
Rapier's out for both sides.
How close is Nothing to Say to 25? He is very close to having it. Let's see if these Rapiers plus 25 Corrosive Undispellable makes a difference, and let's see what Nightfall's Rapier is going to be able to do.
The end is nigh. Unfortunately for Tidebound.
Planet. Be able to disengage.
There we go. That was the Rapier hit. Indeed, it was about... I guess you're countering the Silver Age plus 300 as well. But that
you're
was
about right, actually. That was about 800, 900 damage. Yeah. Something like that. Rax in jeopardy.
Yep, Nightfall focusing the objectives for now. Nothing to Say is going to try and step up, but Nightfall's able to blink away. They turn with the Starbreak hit on towards Nothing to Say. Chains onto the two cores. Going to try and be into them, but now the Solar Guard's coming in. Shira's going to try and get out. The Abyssal Blade's in. Shira gets caught. He's gone.
That's the Rapier.
Rapier on the floor. This Planet will come in with the buyback, but the Rax under threat. Who picked up the Rapier? Who's
Toronto. He took it.
Okay, there we go. Rapier now on the Dawnbreaker.
A big hit.
In with the Starbreaker on a Nothing to Say. Disruption will come in from Planet. Gives a little bit of chance for Nothing to Say to get back to the fountain, which he will do so. In fact, he's looking to get back up the Crush. But Bart gets left outside. Him and Shira out for 70. No buybacks on them.
Under attack.
GG.
As they'll call it. GG is called.
What a game from Lorenoff and from Nightfall in particular, of course, being able to make early moves and just get this insane kill score, 17-0-8. But I have to give Lorenoff some credit. In a